Good evening, one and all. It is Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, and that means we are jumping back into some good old Warframe. Although I suppose it's kind of good new Warframe, it's a retouch of an old one. Yeah. Welcome everyone, hope you're doing well where you are around the world today. Yes, we are going to be having a further look at Nidus, because we spent a lot of time trying to figure out what the hell was happening with one Augment's undisclosed ability. And oh boy was there a bunch happening with that. Welcome everyone, thank you very much immediately as well there, LU for the gifted sub directly over to Crown Ladybug. Much appreciated on that. Ladybug, if you're here with us, make sure you do say thank you to LU for that. It's very generous of them. Cheers on that. So I'm saying, I'm guessing no word on how intended the heal is. No word as yet. I don't intend, well, not intend, don't expect to receive a word on it.
Even with all my forgetting to resub, I finally hit the full year. Keep up the great work, Ken.
There it is indeed, Anubis with the full pot. Much appreciated on the 12 months. 1 whole year of Prime Sports on the channel here. Cheers indeed on that, Anubis. Cheers indeed on that. Bugs in Warframe? Oh, you know, they happen from time to time. Occasional bits here or there, odd map glitch, an enemy that might spin in a circle, an ability that has an anomalous few thousand hit point heal every time you do a mundane interaction with the passive. You know, those kinds of things. Those small, teeny, tiny little details. I will say though, I was having a look at some other bug reports that just happened to circumsurround my one, and one of them had a couple of notes on it, including to the tune of, oh, wow, you're making the devs really dig in the code for this one. That wasn't on something I've reported, so kudos to whoever did that. Just, yeah, God knows what they're digging into. Anyway, I was saying, let's enjoy a game that doesn't have any significant recent controversies for a change. I suppose, yeah. All told, probably not so shabby. For those of you wondering what Alsu might be alluding to, Alsu and I have been having some long discussions with regards to EVE Online, and to put it very simply, and I'm really going to condense this down as much as I can because we don't want to spend a long time on it, groups at the top end of the game that fight and take over large areas of space, literally putting their flag on it, have the ability to create basically portals to connect from one location to another within a relatively short distance. The problem is that if you make a chain of these portals, then in a relatively short amount of time you can go quite a distance and really project your ability to reach other people. And so it seems that the devs have decided, nope, that's not good enough anymore, we need to shrink that down. And rather than put like some clear defined, we want you to reach this far and not further with these portals, they've made this kind of nebulous, strung out approach, which almost makes them useless beyond a certain distance, but not entirely useless. It all just gets a bit fuzzy. And yeah, as a result, Reddit's on fire. I mean, when isn't Reddit on fire on any given subreddit, eh? When isn't it? But yeah, Meljo saying almost useless sounds horrifying balance-wise. Well, to give like a brief bit more specifics, I'm going to translate this into fantasy terms rather than dealing with the actual numbers. Basically, they'll give the portals an amount of mana, and when something goes through the portal, it consumes some amount of that portal's mana, but it consumes an increasing amount based on the category of the ship and the distance from their headquarters. Simply that. Such that 10 people in basic ships can basically deplete the mana of the entire portal within even a medium distance from the headquarters. Like within one region's distance. Mana gets depleted by 10 people, recharge time 6 hours. 3 hours is enough to recharge most of that, but still, 6 hours for full recharge. These are fights involving hundreds and thousands of people at times. What do you mean 10 is enough to blink it out? I say, yeah, that's pretty much you can't use this. Meanwhile, if it's within a very short range, the mana cost is 0. Not approximately 0. 0. 0. So, yeah, some fun stuff going on there. Anyway, I'm automatically heading down to the simulacrum. We know we're going to be here to get started, just to kind of cover the absolute basics of what we need to think about when rebuilding this. And remember, bugs do not exist today. Maggots exist. Maggots may not be bugs. I would ask Zom, but I don't want any lecture on it. Zom's had enough of our time. Let's be real. You had your time last time. So we'll be having a look at the basics of Nidus with the changes and where we can evolve that. Most of the standard stuff should apply, but it's more a case of what else can we apply? What new stuff does this unlock? Because if it doesn't unlock anything new, why the hell was there a retouch, you know? You got your good old virulence for the damage, stompy. We don't need to spam to stomp to still deal the damage, because I think it keeps on doing the damage every single second. That's one test I need to check. How much damage per second does it actually damage per second? 2, there is lava. Lava do the grabby grab. You can recast it now. That's just nice. Quality of life benefit. Cool. Parasitic link. We've already seen the basic interaction of it grabbing onto a non-sentinel companion, which is pretty nifty. But we can still investigate further bits around it there. Absolutely. Parasitic Vitality, we've had a look at that. That was last stream. Check it out if you need to. And Ravenous. Ravenous has always been one that I've kind of been a bit meh on. Because like it feels like it should be good, but then trying to get it to, excuse me, really be good has always seemed a bit more hassle. I don't know. Best way of saying it. Yeah. I'd say maggots are not bugs, they are summons. Well, their melee move is, their explosion isn't. Arbitrarily not working with Summoner's Wrath. Okay, so the summon doing damage counts, but the explosion, which I guess is more Nidus' ability, not their ability, doesn't count. I guess, is how it's coded. Yeah, the difficulty of things having keywords that are hidden from us, keywords as in what they interact with, different flags I suppose you could call it, that always makes it fun here with Warframe, doesn't it? Because looking at this here, rupture damage per mutation stack is not flagged as ability or summon ability or melee or anything. It's, we don't see the flags, but they're there in the code. That certainly does make it a lot more fun. Dom, not a genuine question. Don't you dare start the discussion, okay? Just grab your favorite drink, have a sip, and go with it. If you start an essay on bugs, I will time you out and remod you later. Okay, so we've got a very basic understanding as to what Nidus is capable of. That's damage, grouping, damage reduction, or buffing. You don't get both. You have to be careful about which you choose. I think it's the case. And then heal, status immunity, if I recall now, standing in the zone. Or sorry, status cleansing, not status immunity. Status cleansing. And then explosive potential from the maggots. Can we make the maggots more visible? That is my first pressing question. Let's just get some stacks so I can cast them. You lot, get scooped. Idiots. Okay, the damage per second seems to be half the base damage. I noticed that now. Because yeah, it's doing 178 per tick there, but if I regroup them... First stomp... Okay, well first stomp was a lot higher, but yeah, first stomp was 23k, followed by 11.5k. So yeah, the damage per second is halved after the initial stomp. Okay, does the ability card say this? Before I go into any further tests, I just want to know, does it actually tell us this? Let's see, damage per mutation stack, duration... Nothing on that. And is it buried in the tip section, which I hate to get into for info, but let's see. Hold virulence to see the area, not that interesting right now. Cast lava, we're not looking at lava, what's learning? Cast lava close to the ground so that virulence can reach enemies caught by the tendrils. Okay. If enemies hit by first pulse of damage, virulence refunds part of its cost. Yep. Hold parasitic link to cast on nearest ally. Parasitic link will flash and play sound when it's about to break. Link to an ally or enemy with that and cast virulence to create a second growth. Use the link on free moving companions and specters. Yep. Enemy heavy units can withstand more damage. Yep. Cast virulence into ravenous infested areas to detonate maggots. Basic functionality. Ravenous is active. Hold virulence to mark location of its maggots and release cast. Hold up. While ravenous is active, hold virulence to mark the location of the maggots. I did not know this. I did not know this. Okay then. The more mutation stacks Nidus has, the more damage virulence and detonated maggots deal. Yes, we know that. It's actually on the cards. I accidentally double tabbed there somehow. Standing in Ravenous, it regenerates health over time, scales of ability strength. Yeah. And Ravenous uses mutation stacks instead of energy to cast. Yes. Okay, so no actual mention of the fact this does half damage per tick for the duration. It's just not included. That's nice of them. It also, we noticed, didn't dynamically update there, so you would need a recast to get the higher damage out of it, which kind of makes sense. You wouldn't expect the damage to be dynamic. But yeah, we can see that they're immediately out with a bunch of damage and then blah 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 blah. Cool, good stuff. So yeah, what was that about highlighting the maggots? So at the moment, like, they're around, but in the heat of battle, there's no way I'm spotting these little guys. I don't care how good your eyes are, mine are not that good. But if I hold this... okay. Okay. Wow, there's actually quite a few of them. Man. That is a bunch of them surrounding it. Yeah. If I lived 10,000 years ago, I'd be dead to the leopard. I'm going to be honest. It would get me every single time. I am not that observant. Alright. So here's our lovely little zerglings. Sorry, no. Legally distinct. Here are our little maggots. Now, the fact that you have to hold that to see them does make it a little bit less ideal. Like, you can hold it to get the setup, but it does add a clunk. So my next question is then... Oh. I already spawned, never mind. My next question is then, if I just summon a new one of these and then I open up the ally highlighting, might be more than a little bit obnoxious, but let's have a look. If we also go into the highlighting sections in general, can I not self-highlight? Good, good, good. Okay, it does highlight them, but it is still obscured by terrain, including the terrain of Virulence, so... is an improvement if you got contrasting colors, but only marginal, I'll be honest. It doesn't override the obscurement of just terrain. Helps them stand out a bit more, but not like crazy more. Have I got soup today? No soup today. It is good old tea and water. Oh. Good old tea and water. I'll just say it doesn't mention lingering viral damage at all. I presume you mean from virulence? Yeah, it doesn't mention anything about the lingering because that was added in the retouch. And, well, retouch can only say so many things, can't it? You know, we already know that this mod card is far too long. You know, there's no way we could ever let a mod card have even the slightest bit more detail than this. It's completely illegal. So this is all we get. Sure. Also, it's not even viral, right? Is it? It's damage per mutation stack puncture. Virulence on the patch note says updated ability description to specify damage type brackets impact. Have I had dinner? Yes. I had a combi lunch dinner because I was late up today. And it was just some good old pasta parcels, pesto, and some, I think it was gem lettuce. Yeah. Yeah, the highlight settings are restricted. Yeah. It does say, Wiki says it's puncture damage on direct and viral on lingering. Okay, so we got two. Is this why the damage is different I'm seeing here? Vulnerable to impact. but not puncture, and it's supposed to be... Ah, I love this game. Right, okay. Let's immediately get to it. Do I have a test bunny in the chat? What is that 225% there? Oh. Oh, yeah. 225%? Do we have a test bunny in the chat today who would be very happy to be attacked by Nidus? I did think that was only 75%. And now it's at 75%. No further questions, Your Honor. Yeah. Remember, there are no bugs today. We're not looking at the bugs. Alright, we got Zom offering to hop on, which is perfectly fine, considering all that Zom subjected us to the other day. Not your fault, Zom, but you did. You absolutely should get in here and be attacked. First come, first serve on that, though. Because I'm not going to wait for people. The first person has most likely got the best loading times, and that works for me. From Jake, can we summon Deimos infected? Their viral immune to lingering should be easy to test. That's a good point. Are they truly viral damage immune? Oh, I think Zom just about won the point there. Sorry, Ellie. What was that? Test. Alright then. Okay. Cheers, bye. Let's pop ourselves into all that sim right there. Chat knows? Hands up chat if you actually know. Hands up chat if you actually know. Hey Zom, you're looking a little bit blue today. I wonder why that is. Yeah, whilst Zom's sorting their bits and pieces over there, let's have a look. We got some Deimosy bits and pieces. Resistant to viral. Well, let's just summon it and see what happens. Damage-wise, so it's Nidus 472 followed by 118. Yep, that is indeed half of what I was expecting there. So yes, it does appear to be viral on the follow-up. Okay. Unless they are weak to puncture on the first place. Nope, they're not. Cool. Okay, Zom, do you have adaptation equipped? Zom is about to have adaptation equipped. Alright, looks like exactly one person understood you there, Ellie. Well done. Look at the wings all aflutter. Ah. Alright then, cool. Let me just quickly turn on friendly fire. I need to know what adaptation I trigger on you, please. No, apparently I triggered death as well. Up you go. Puncture and viral. There we go. Well, that is confirmed. So YDE, why does the update say what it says? Incoming flashbang because they keep on signing me out, so it's on light mode. I can't bother to sign back in right now. Ability 1, Virulence. Updated ability description to specify damage type, impact. And clarify damage done per mutation stack. This game, I swear. Just sending me in circles. Alright, whatever. So, they didn't actually clarify the damage type. They got it wrong twice. They're not even telling us that it changes. I don't even know why it changes. It's not like it even has a status chance connected to it, so... That's just weird. What's up? D-moment, yes. Okay, alright. That's fine. That is what it is there. That's cool on that side of things. We do see Zom is unfortunately blue because I've made allies blue. And we can't really get around the blueness of it. It's just blue. If I cast this here, do I see the benefit applied to Zom? Yes, I do. I do see on my buff bar, or sorry, team buff bar, that I'm applying 177 health per second to Zomtronic with that. So that is good. Also, fun fact, I think I can... Oh, no, that's the one. One of these hides it. There it is. Haha! I am alone! I definitely do not have an ally with me. Yes. Does maggot damage type matter? Probably not, but let's find out what damage they do. Maggots, go! Go! It seems that Zom is one with the maggots. No matter. I can amend this real quickly. Okay. You douche. I'm out of energy. Zom just took some blast damage. Good to know. Stomp. That'll just give me a whole bunch of these. Right, we set this up here. Maggots should start spawning and should start attacking. Are they going to go for the butchers or for Zom? They're going to go for the butchers. That makes plenty sense, I guess. Let's just get rid of these guys. There we go. Right. Now they should attack Zom. So, well, okay. Well, at least we know blast damage does come from them exploding. What damage they do if they attack, don't know. I can still do that. Yeah, that does a bunch. Cool. Can't revive you because you're not a friend. Let me fix that. There we go. Also, fun fact. I have maggots out at the moment. Rather, I did have maggots out. Where'd they go? Yeah. If I spawn another round of maggots... There we go. I could spawn 20 enemies at the moment. If I turn on friendly fire, go out and back in, I can now only spawn 12 enemies. Now only 11. The maggots are counting against the enemy spawn cap. If I turn on friendly fire. That's probably a bug, so we're going to stop talking about it. There are no bugs today. Budger Burger, thank you very much for dropping your sub here once again up onto 2 months. Got that lovely bronze mug next to your name. Cheers. Oh. Cheers indeed for that. Okay, so now if we've got friendly fire on, can I link against Zom here? Yes, indeed I can. Have I given Zom a strength bonus and in the process give myself a strength bonus? Let's have a look here. 572 damage, that doesn't seem much higher. So I think I have indeed given myself a damage redirection bonus. So to test that... Yep, okay, cool, that is linking to Zom. Get redirected, nerd. Anyway. Is it me or did that feel like I had to kill the enemies one by one? Oh, that's concerning. That's concerning. Hang about. Anonymous asking, since Nidus 3 apply to ally gives ability strength multiplier, does that apply in the order with additive strength bonuses? So, is it additive to just your strength stat? I believe the answer is always no. So, this has a increase of, excuse me, 59.05%. We see I'm currently on a strength here of 472. Sorry, damage of 472. If I now link to Zom, I get that bonus, and now I'm at 909.77. Which was an increase of 92.6%. That? Oh, now this is at 572, sorry. Did I misread 572 as 472 earlier? Did I misread 572 as 472, or was the game lying to me? It did show 472? Okay. Because 572 multiplied by 1.59, which this is supposed to give me a 0.59, so 1.59 is indeed the 909.77 that we saw. So... Huh? 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 What? Okay, so there's a bug happening. We're not going to pay attention to it. There are no bugs today. There are no bugs today. Am I getting buffs? I might be getting buffs from somewhere. What could I be getting a buff from? That would be increasing the damage by... Sorry, the strength by 50%. 50% is a lot. Because that's 50% additive to strength. But it's still a 50% strength bonus coming from somewhere. Bellicose from Parasitic? Ah, might be. Right. Yep. Okay. Cool. Conditional stuff applying temporarily in places we weren't expecting. Let's get rid of you for the moment, because that is more than a little bit confusing. The rest of this isn't conditional in a way that matters. We can verify with other bits and pieces later, but that's fine. Not a bug, actually working as intended. It's just that Nintendo is very confusing when it happens. So, 428. I do the thing. 656.98. 656.98 divided by 428 is indeed 1.535, and Parasitic Link, when I unlink, because I didn't check it first, 535. Yeah, there we are. So it is a multiplier to strength-based effects. It is just a multiplier. So the higher that is, the higher the multiplier, and you get some crazy scaling, which is why people love Nidus when they start doing buff soup stuff. Something was at 58% that time. 58% of what? Because that's a 53 right there. Did you misread 53 as 58? It's possible. It is a very small font size. Nope, 58. Okay, when you say 58, 58 of what? What is 58? You're seeing on your screen 58% strength bonus from the link? Because if so, I'm going to need a screenshot of that one. Yeah, okay. Send me the screenshot of the buff bar, please. Quick little snippy snips of that. Here we go. Got that from Zom. And that indeed says 58%. That indeed says 58%. So I'm giving you 53, but you're receiving 58. And the reason for that is... Nidus mains? Hello? Hey, can't answer this one. That's, Unless... Hold on. Maybe... Zom, what is your normal strength on that setup at the moment? What is your normal strength? 100%, you took all the mods off. Okay, so when I connect to you... If you open up your abilities at the moment, you'll see your raw is 50%. When I connect to you, what is your raw afterwards? You able to check that? Okay, so let's go ahead and link. What is your raw strength now? Also, apparently Zom still has the heal buff, which doesn't exist. 111%. Why would your raw be 111%? Up from 50? Zom, I'm going to unlink, and please double check that your raw is a base 50. Oh, sim bug, damn it, things took off mods in sim. So what is your current raw that you just measured against that I can compare the numbers with that you lied to me about? It's 72.5. Okay. The 111 divided by 72.5 will be a 53% increase. Interesting. So we've got multiple sim bugs at once, but none of those are happening because Simulacrum isn't bugging out today. Zom, thank you very much for your assistance. I'm going to just leave the Simulacrum because you are a danger to be around with this character. You just are. This is, Okay. Anonymous saying Nidus 3 is slightly weaker on allies because the buff does not count his 15 strength bonus. That's a fun claim to make, considering Zom was getting the stronger buff on the buff bar than I was getting, but the actual buff Zom received was the same as what I was getting. But again, there are no bugs today. There are no bugs today. It's a host not hosting? Okay, in what way? Now you've told me the title of the chapter. What is the thing I need to know about there? Bear in mind, I'm host. Oh boy. This is going to kill me. This game is going to kill me. I'm going to go grey because of this game. Not even an exaggeration at this point. The game will actually be the end of my existence. Okay, so Team of Virulence. C4 enemies with Virulence gives 200% primary weapon critical chance 15 seconds. We already tested that last time. It does indeed do what it says on the tin. It appears to be additive to mods, additive to all of that lot. No weirdy schminniness there. It's just working as advertised, and it is great. That it is limited to primaries is a little sad, but it is what it is. Abundant Mutation, we've also seen that. It does indeed apply a 30-second cooldown to Undying. It does indeed give those additional 300 max stacks, which considering the passive is now 200 at base, that gives you up to 500, which is kind of a little bit bonkers. Yeah, especially in combination with Arcane Persistence, because you'll just have so much health that it doesn't matter what enemies want to do, you just won't die in time. By the time you finally die, you don't die because this will be off cooldown, then you just full heal and then you just don't die again. So that's pretty nifty, so long as you don't get status proc, which the 4 now protects from. Well, clears from, not protects from. Slight difference there and very important. Also, orange has been requested. There we go. Don't I already have grey hairs courtesy of Warframe? I do. It's true. The camera doesn't pick them up too well, but they're there. Oh, they are there. Okay, so with Summoners Rep being squad receives 75% companion summon damage, that is, we know, applying to the maggots for the direct attack. Now, here we go. Anon has given us more information. Sometimes if you aren't host, the strength bonus doesn't get counted on allies. So if Nidus has 115% base strength, allies will sometimes get a bonus as though you had 100 if you are not host. Okay, so that is an entirely separate issue. Entirely separate, and you didn't mention it was a host not hosting originally until I responded to you. So fair enough on that. Not so, but there we go, whatever. But that's not what was happening there. It's just not. So this is fun. Okay, is that 20? Oh yeah, I put on Bellicose. That's where that 22% is from. Oh, this is grand to keep trying to track. Overall, though, I think it's pretty obvious to everyone what the base gameplay is here. You've got group them, stomp them to get stacks and to deal damage, link up to either be tanky or to be ganky, I guess, and Ravenous go Burr for basically this is domain expansion infestation. Wait, tell me I'm wrong on that. That is pretty much all of what that comes to. And the question is then, what more else do we want from this? In terms of modding space, with a triple augment setup, we don't really have room for anything. That's our energy income, that's our strength, that's our range, that's our duration, and that's our persistence armor to the basic threshold, and we'd still want a couple Archon shards to get to the secondary threshold. So yeah, I've played Lava Bomb. More specific setups we'll get to in a bit. Sorry, I didn't realize you were still. Let's slap on a couple of these because they're fun. Oh no, I can't put on shields. Anyway, so one of you, and because I have it, we'll do another one over here. Isn't that beautiful? Nice round 1500 armor. It is lovely to look at. Yeah, fair enough, Anon. I get what you're saying there. I get what you're saying. Okay. So, thank you, Kelton. With this all as we're set up there, yeah, for this particular approach, none of these parts can move. Assuming we go triple augment, this is our tank, this is a primary crit. This one doesn't have to be here, in all honesty. That is a bonus. We're adding it on. Doesn't have to be there. And this does allow us to get a hell of a lot more out of this, and therefore out of this, but it's also not strictly needed. Yeah. What's the shoulder piece on Nidus? I currently have the Ostron arm guards. That's what those ones are. Ostron arm guards. They do have that kind of organic-y shape to them. Like organic armor plates, which fits in with the Nidus look. That's kind of why I went with that there. But yeah. Also, I do have a lot of, like, clickables. Oh, look, Nidus Frake skin. Yep. Give glowy extra arms. Why not? Gotta say, not particularly enthralled with the alternative. Like, I see it, but I also... And then full mutation does that to it. I am unfussed. I am unfussed. That'll do. Okay. Now, the primary crit chance thing is kind of a little bit weird, because it means then something like the Tenet Envoy here can do some mildly bonkers stuff. And by Envoy, I mean Tenet Archoplasma. I knew that. I'm so used to using the Envoy. So it does mean that we could, for example, drop the critical deceleration for some other mod to benefit its overall capabilities. Question is, what? I mean, I do have ribbons. Could always slap a ribbon in there. What have I got? Reload speed and fire rate at the moment. Not like the craziest, but also it's a bit of a chunky reload speed. So if I were to do that and that, yeah, we lose that 44% crit. Fire rate jumps up by, honestly, not as much as I was expecting. Was it showing me the stats of the normal Archoplasma? I think it was. Also, yes, I've got Archifevadra. I have accidentally just killed some of my viewers. Alright, yeah. Have I ever done a stream where viewers decide your weapon loadout? Yes. What happened is that I was given the absolute worst stuff possible because viewers love to just cause pain, even if it doesn't create anything fun. I got a shotgun barrage? I know. But yeah, I was expecting a higher... what was it? Bonus from that? I think it showed up the bonus on normal plasma at first there. Yeah, I did get bamboozled. I did get bamboozled. Despite being on the Tenet, it was like, here are the stats on the other plasma. Hey, in fairness, the Golden Instinct Valkyrie to Steel Path Roper low list was only 50% chat's fault. The other one was a randomized loadout. No one chose that. But then someone chose the mission. Yeah. That was rude. Okay, so... given that's actually just kind of a pathetic one, I'm gonna just... who doesn't love a starting point? Now... one thing I said I was going to test and then forgot to, and all the other stuff that just happened. I could have sworn I was killing the butchers one at a time. And that is... that's not what's supposed to happen. So I'm hoping I was misunderstanding. Fair enough, Anno. Fair enough. I will bear that in mind, that crits can start to look a little crazy if they're crazy. Yep. Butchers. Butchers. Pause the AI. All that good stuff. Let's go skidoosh. Grab them all together. Okay, they did hit a bunch of them. That was at least 2 dead. Another 3 dead. Another 5 dead. We've now hit Merciless Cap. Interesting. I've done all of this firing. These 2 are still alive. At full health. Have I forgotten how this gun works? It's supposed to have full body punch through, right? I mean... hit all the way to the back? Yeah, that one did. Kaboosh! I still feel like I'm taking them out one by one. Does this mess with punch streak? Six, 7, 8. 8 shots to kill them all. And what happens if I don't do the stuff? 1, 2. 1 or 2 shots to kill. Right. I'll just get Deadhead back. There we go. When I do this... 1, 2, 3. There's still some with 0 damage on them. 4. Is it just that they're bouncing around too much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like the Fullman's a little smaller than the Plasmor for its wide body projectiles. That might be having an impact. Let's just get stacks going. 2 shots, even with no real stacks to start with. Then it's 1, 1, 1, 1. Like, yeah, that is a 1-shot kill on this group. Absolute 1-shot bloody kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, which is more than it took to deal with the first group. That was still 4. It was level 2 butchers. It took me 4 shots into that ball of them. Whereas if I group them up now and then I just pop this here, like... So it's not like there's some kind of shenanigans there. This is really weird. Okay, hang on. Got an idea. I have an idea. So we got that mod slot that I said that I don't really care about. Actually, we're going to swap out... we can swap out something else. I'll find something to swap out. Point is, punch through. We can replace the fire rate for now. We'll get some punch through on here. Okay, 1.2 meters of it. It's not a lot, but it is punch through. Just remind ourselves, the damage output looks like this. If it hits them, they are dead. There is no question about it. If it hits them, they die. Guaranteed. So I group them all up. They are pretty tightly grouped. Took me 4 shots to kill them all. Even when I'm adding punch through, in case there's like a small thickness to the lava which is stopping it continue to go through, if I take away what that could have been by adding 1.2 meters of punch through, it's still not doing it. Something's weird. Alright, that was a 6 to kill. But if I just group them all up, and then we end the grouping. So group them all up, and then I'll cast a new one over there. Should end that one. There we go. Super, super, super bunched. I think this is the widest... Sorry, the narrowest angle of them I can get. But yeah, you can see that just absolutely rockets through a bunch. It was that shape there, so it is about the shape of the crosshair. It is about the shape of the crosshair. So we're saying innate punch through does not apply to surfaces if hitting with the central portion of the projectile. Well, that was not really what's going on here, yeah. I think the way the enemies are being ragdolled is impacting it. Again, group them up and then cancel the grouping. Taking... This here is a pretty solid wall. So if I just fire just down the middle of this, we can see the actual width of the projectile. I think that's pretty conclusive. The width of the projectile is actually 3 times the width of the crosshair. At this distance, 3 times width. So we could be fairly certain if it was grouped up into a ball within that just crosshair plus 1 either side, it would work. So if I then group up a whole bunch of them, so I get about that distance again, everything is within that radius. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to kill. Okay, yeah, that's Meanwhile, this little shit. Oh, right, the level 2. Level 20? Let's just verify this still one-shots the whole line. Yeah, absolutely no concerns there. Yeah. Or grouped with should get them all. I beg your finest pardon. Be a little faster about that. It seems there's a limit. Not a punch through. The weapon should have innate infinite body punch through, but I guess innate infinite body punch through isn't infinite. Okay. Then let's do this. This is going to take a moment, chat, but you can see the science. You can see the plan. Corvix's line up ability. Corvix does have line up ability, but not quite as managed as this. Also, Corvix might just kill them and also punch through passive and stuff. This I know is just going to give us a nice solid line of stuff. Right where I want it to be, and nothing more, nothing less than that. Okay, that's enough. That's enough right now. So, these guys haven't been CC'd in any particular way. They've just been teleported. It's a nice solid line of them. You can see in both directions. That is an unbothered line of screw you. Well, what the hell? Wait. Huh? So it's got to be something to do with their ragdoll is denying or interfering with the way it works. Because, like, if I could shoot through more than half this group, let's see, there's 6 left here, so I shot through 14 of them at once. 14 at once. We know that I was not getting 14 kills at once with the Nidus setup. But we could do better than say we know, because I could just do it again. Decisive Ragdoll? Kind of. It animates them, I guess is the better word. They animate. Look at this here, I've got no merciless stacks. Ooh, that wasn't great. What the hell? 7 kills. But granted this, I don't... I... What? That... What? Hold on. Huh? Oh shit, these are guys. I was trying to knock them down. What do you mean my bullet jump kills them? Oh, for God's sake, Butchers are so weak. It's kind of the point, but also, my God. Okay, yeah, let's just do the old badoo, badoo. And now, with them completely out of the animation, hold on, fully block one behind the other. What is this? What do you mean? What? No. No! That's not how this works. I do this, the whole line of them dies. I group them, I let the grouping end. I do this, and we're getting survives. I'm seeing a suggestion. Maybe it's something to do with the distance apart they are. All right, let's investigate that. let us investigate that. Let's go Loki, because Loki's grouping so far did not cause an issue. So let's get right up against each target as we do. Oh god. Hey, that did work. Okay. And then right up against you. Let's get right into this cluster of them. I'm going to cluster them all completely up as tightly as I can manage this. Everyone's in the dog pile here. I cannot get any closer to this group without bullet jumping or something in. I can try, like... Oh, this was a mistake. Alright, you can see there is no more space in there. That is as compact as grouping gets when I'm not actually trying to group. I've accidentally grabbed another one, but that's fine. Yeah, the unit of measurement, the Loki. There was less than one Loki space left, yes. I do from here. I'll drop him into position. I do that to actively drop them on top, in fact. To make them ultra dense. Or I can teleport to their spot. This is a new one. Well, I've been telefragged. Let me try that again. Okay. I don't know if that worked the way I wanted. I'm going to stop doing that in case I break other things. Yes, I just used the change shoulder camera key to put that one where I wanted them. Okay, so this is as densely packed as I can get the group. As densely packed without using some kind of actual crowd control scooping. And honestly, they are super, super packed. Oh. I'm right on that one. Okay, so when the enemies become really grouped together, if they become within a certain distance, they no longer actually allow for the body punch through. This is so weird. This is weirder than discovering that Noctua Swarm doesn't work on ragdoll enemies. Also fun fact, by the way, that's in the video coming out tomorrow. Can I try hitting the line with the edge of the projectile? I mean, I can just aim to the left of this. Well, that killed 4 of them. That killed another 1. That killed another 6. And now I'm missing because they fell on the ground. And like, there's no pipes, no terrain, no nothing I could be hitting on the way to hitting them. This guy is quite literally in my crosshair and survived. Not only did he survive, but also his buddy right next to him survived. Whereas if I shoot again, they're both dead. And yeah, there are other guns I could do this same kind of test with, but I already did that moments ago with the Fullman. Fullman has a much smaller projectile, so it's a little harder to verify the effects. But again, if I just kind of go skidoosh, they all die. See, there is no concern with the rate of deathage happening here. No one is slightly concerned of that. So now if I group them up, let's see, I'm on 517 kills. 520. I only got 3 kills there, but I just showed I could kill 4 of them in a single shot, no problem. I only got 3. And if we do like a lineup, where's 2 that look like really, really bunk buddies? Here we go. So let's see. Oh, they both died. and they died. Well, okay. 537, 540, 542, 547, 552, 555, 557. Wait. Janet saying, just explained to a best friend of mine about what's happening on stream. His response was, it's not a new discovery, saw that happening with mag bubbles for ages. I mean, it doesn't make it any better. Alright, so your veteran friend knew about it. Did they submit a bug report? Did they make sure Dee knew about it? Did they give comprehensive information? Did they share it with the Reddit community and put it onto the wiki? Or are they just going, well, I knew about that? Like, cool, good to know. Now 200 other people know. Alright, this guy right at the end over there, if I line up through a bunch of targets here... It's fine with that. I wonder if it's tied to how many targets can be affected by the same projectile simultaneously. The reason I posit that is because when they're super grouped with lava, Foreman struggles. When they are out of their grouping from lava, Foreman does not struggle, apparently so far, but the Archoplasmoid does. And because the Foreman projectile is that much smaller, it means that it's finished passing through one of them before it's getting to the next ones or next however many ones, and so it's allowed to do the hits. Whereas the wider projectile passing through so many enemies at once, by the time it's hitting the next enemy, it hasn't finished going through the others, and so the game's gone, too many at once, and gives up. You wonder how Hitscan behaves? I think Hitscan's just an entirely different beast, but... Well, the thing is, we already had it where I lined up, like, what was it, 14 butchers in a row, and I shot, and every single one died. 100% Archoplasmor just went right through the line of them. But when I had all 20 in this kind of cluster, suddenly they were body blocking. Okay. Salvatore saying probably not a bug. I count this as a bug. Because we're having a fundamentally similar weapon class. That is, wide body projectile or AoE weapon. They both hit groups of enemies at once. This one, we hit an entire line at once, and that line has a width to it, so it's a three-dimensional shape. It's basically a cuboid we're hitting, or a prism. Mirrorlabe, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Mirrorlabe. And Mirrorlabe, thank you very much for subscribing for yourself as well. Much appreciated, Mirrorlabe and Mirrorlabe. Cheers indeed on that there. So, yeah, this is a prism-shaped weapon of effect, and this is a spherical-shaped weapon of effect, but ultimately they are both AoE weapons. How they apply the AoE is not really relevant to the discussion, it's more they have a effect on an area, multi-targeting. This one can hit every single enemy grabbed by lava, not even a slight concern. They all got obliterated. This one is limited to like 5 per shot, and sometimes can do less than that. I don't care what you want to claim about the way they have written the code, that counts as a bug. Which means it doesn't exist, and so we're not going to think about it any further, chat. Goodbye. No, unfortunately we do have to acknowledge that one. I can't just run away from this one. This fundamentally alters the ability for Nidus to rely on certain weapon classes whilst using lava. because it groups enemies so tightly, even a small wide body projectile like the Foreman is impacted. That's a really, really big deal. Your Dragon's projectile would work? Terrifying question, especially with its rapid fire rate. Rapid fire rate will probably get around it, but yeah. Swapping the Felarx out. So the thing is, with the Felarx, if you're using it in Incarnate mode, you're going to hit that, yes. If you're using it in non-Incarnate mode, they're bullets. And bullets go daka 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 daka. That gets dunked in both modes? Oh, okay, let's have a look then. Bear in mind, in the normal mode, it does have a very tight grouping. And the enemy is kind of going... That's a technical term. So... So just going to go... Wadoosh, skidoosh in... I mean, that was very quick, yeah. So even if there was a delay between them, it's an irrelevant delay at that point. So Ignis is fine, probably because of fire rate. So it was the Felarx. Got all those technical terms? Absolutely. I mean, I'm the engineer, so you know it must be true, right? Totes. That killed 8. That killed another 7. And that killed another 5. And I honestly think that's because of grouping. Yo! Latwan! I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly. There's so many vowels in a row there. But Latwan, thank you very much for dropping your prime here. Much appreciated once again. Up onto that lovely bronze sub badge. Cheers. I think we agreed last time to just go with later, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Alright, what about Natruk? Good question. I was going to look at more about the Felarx, but let's see what Natruk do real quick. What happens to Natruk? It's a bug? I think we've already established it's a bug. And if you don't agree on that, tough. My stream, my definitions. That killed 9 of them. Oop, that killed 2. That killed 4. That killed another couple of them. I'm losing track. Try that again. It's not the widest projectile. But yeah. It's not that quick. Right, I was going to do Felarx again, but this time if I can reduce its accuracy by increasing spread. Spread. Yeah, if we go with this instead of the critical deceleration, just for the moment, that's spreading there. Yeah, we've got now deviation 19 degrees instead of 12 degrees. May not sound like a lot, but that's a chunk. Let's see if I can increase the kill rate here. So we're at 80 kills. 90. 97. 100. And what is the multi-shot on this, actually? Multi-shot is 8.4. Yeah, so at least one of the pellets in that first attack killed multiple enemies. I think. Yeah, it must have done. Group them all up. We're on 100. 108. 116. 119. And like, what if I do the Sialted thing? 120, go 128, 135, but also I'm running into a spread issue there. There's only so much you can do with it. Kozak's saying it's weird, but when one uses blast and it procs, the issue suddenly disappears. I mean, yes, that will have an effect, but if you have to build into blast to deal with the fact that the wide body projectile no longer properly wide bodies, that's still something to note. It's all well and good going, yeah, it works, but, well, the rest of it doesn't. That's the problem. Alright, what about Ultix Prime? Has infinite punch through. Honestly, I don't think I really need to care about that. Like, first of all, it's the Ultix Prime, who cares? Second of all, it's a tiny projectile. Tiny. I'm gonna group up. Oops, missed some. Gonna wait for the grouping to end. And if I just aim down the middle of this group here... Okay, well... Something staggered a whole bunch of them at once there, but yeah, my electric procs. Oopsies. Hold on. Let me fix that. Trying to get extra value out of the gun in the original modding. We don't want that on there. You off and something on cold. There we go. Right. No electric this time. Yeah, it's a pretty small projectile. Let's try. 176 kills. I mean, fire rate solves it. But yeah. Looks like there's no problem penetrating. Yeah, small projectile. Honestly, just fire rate is the solution. AoE weapons is a solution. Regular blast is a solution. It really is just that one category of single shot, heavy blappage attacks getting denied. Because. Salvatore, that's not a complete question. Try again, please. We have been over this. And then, for those of you asking beams, there's nothing to ask on beams, because they're going to be the same as like with the, what do you call it, the Ignis. Ignis is kind of a beam anyway. Yeah, they're grouped up, blah blah blah, who cares, rapid fire rate good there. Plus gas in this case, but mostly rapid fire rate good there. Lexicana mode, I mean, we can have a look. I don't know what we're going to see there of interest, but good old wide body projectile again, I guess, yeah. Alright, you are the sacrificial idiot. Thank you, your sacrifice was in vain. We're at 217. 221. 230. And then I run out of charges. So we got like a 4 and then a 9 there, I think. That is weird. Let's just get a bunch of charges on this one this time. Yeah, boop. Alright, 244. 247, only 3 kills. And then 7 kills, 3 kills, and all but the last one somehow. Who got absolutely yeeted. Right. Yeah, so there's a whole lot going on at once there. There's a whole lot going on at once. There's various ways around it, but the main thing to take away is that lava is unveiling an unusual circumstance. An unusual circumstance where enemies are so closely packed that there are certain, I guess, engine limits on how much a projectile can hit stuff. And as a result, it just kind of falls apart. This combined with the fact that lava doesn't combine them into a single spot. Probably because of this very issue, they designed it to not combine them into a single spot. They're kind of clustered close to the spot. Because if indeed they were all in one spot, every single projectile of this nature would immediately hit maximum issue. You'd hit like 2 enemies a time. So, if anything, we may have unveiled as to why DE didn't make lava really tightly scoop them. Because it breaks. Yeah, it breaks. That's the takeaway on that. And if you just take something stupid like Alvu, I mean... Yeah, we're against level 20 enemies, at level 20 butchers no less. This isn't a demonstration of capability. Every now and then I manage to put it through the floor, don't I? There we go. And that works. Arcane say if there wasn't a target cap and you could hit everything in lava, assume some people's connections would immediately rebel. Nope, that ain't the answer. I can prove to you that ain't the answer. That is so easy to prove that ain't the answer. I just do this. Oh look, they're all grouped. Oh man, imagine if I hit all of them at the same time. Oh. Oh man, that'd suck. Oh. Oh, those poor computers. Oh. Anyway. Yeah. True AoE weapons don't give a shit. So yeah, yeah. What's going on? It's like I say, I think it has to do with how the engine is handling the projectiles hitting multiple targets while still inside of others. It's the only thing that I can see that lines up with all the other bits and pieces. And so, if anything, the nature as to how lava groups enemies into this wobbling, wider mess that is much wider than many projectiles in the first place, I'm gonna have to guess that the reasoning for that is just not just the visuals, but also because they were hitting engine limits. That's what I have to infer from this. Interesting. So, when it comes to lava, there is a limit to some of what you can do with that. Now, I do have one final curiosity on that thought then. If I go back onto here, back onto the Plasmor, I'm going to probably need some slightly stronger butchers, just because of the DOT on this. Maybe not, but I'm playing it safe. If I do that... Yeah, so it's pretty good. It's similar to lava level condensed. 304. 12 enemies hit at once. That was another, what, 5, 2, 1. That's going to be a moment before that expires. Spruce is saying, fully enough, Borderlands 2 is an instance of what this is probably trying to avoid. If you hit a particular boss in the right spot with a character, there's infinite body punch through. The overlapping hitboxes cause projectiles to hit a massive number of times at once and nuke the boss in one shot. Maybe? I know that Warframe has the opposite of that at times. I think it was the switch from... What was it? Yeah, Corvus to Corvus Prime against... Oh, what's it called? Profit Taker. Because Profit Taker, you need to use a heavy weapon to hit the limbs. But if you're using normal Corvus, you've got a shotgun style, lots of pellets, lots of damage, it's brilliant. You use the Corvus Prime, and now it's a wide body projectile, it's a different weapon function, and if it clipped an already damaged and therefore ineligible leg, the rest of the projectile coming through to hit the leg behind it wouldn't hit for any damage. Because it's already hit the boss for 0. Oh boy, yeah. Some weird and wonderful shit that exists in this game. But yeah, we know that the width of the projectile on this gun, we tested it, is like the width of the reticle either side of the reticle. That should kill everything, it only killed 8 of them. There does seem to be a hit limit on super compact enemies. And only when they are super compact. And to verify, can I indeed one-shot? Yes. Nil concern on the one-shotting here. Five to kill. Well, I've learned something here. I hope you all have learned something as well. That was not what I expected to learn today, but that is an interesting, dare I say, a game engine limitation. It's the... okay. It's the only explanation I can reasonably come up with for just quite how dramatic this is. Yeah. Through saying the plasma blast seemed to bounce off them in the lava ball was an interesting indication of what might be happening behind the scenes. Yeah. I'm not going to dig any further into that. That is very much for DE to decide how they want to handle, if they want to handle. Oh. Sorry, I had a message from DE suddenly on Discord. I was just checking. Hold on, have I found some of the curse tech? Nope, that's something I just need to deal with later. Yep, all good. In case you're curious, someone mistyped their username. So I just need to verify between the two, but that can happen when I'm off stream. Ah, dear. It's rare, but it does happen that people don't remember their own usernames. At least this time there is a verifiable... It was probably this, right? Yeah. It'd be funny if it was about this. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them to be like, Ken, please, stop, please. We very much need people to not know about this one. I wouldn't put it past them. Oh dear. But today is not that day. No, today is not that day. Today is back to the absolutely unbuggiest frame in all of existence, Nidus. We have found absolutely no bugs with lava and absolutely no bugs with... It was the passive, technically. Yeah, so we found no bugs with those two so far. No bugs whatsoever. This isn't bugged. This isn't bugged. We know this isn't bugged, and this isn't bugged. So we're doing fine, honestly. This also isn't bugged. This, I decline to hear from the person who could tell me if this is bugged or not. For a different definition of bugs. Yeah. At least I know not to use the plasma, basically. It theoretically should work. It doesn't. I'm putting it away. We'll use the Envoy instead. Envoy is amazing. Zom, I just need a quick yes or no. Save us the essays. If you give anything other than yes or no, trouble. Are the maggots bugs? Yes or no? And for anyone who disagrees with Zom's authority on this matter, tough, don't care. No. Okay. Good to know. Knows the infestation. I'm timing Zom out. I'll put your moderator status back later. You deserve that and you know it. I gave you one specific instruction. Not only did you not follow that, you also just threw in, oh, it's the infestation. No. No. Bad juju. Very, very bad juju. Right. Jab. Cheers, Zaka boy. Have some shame put duct tape in them credits. Feeling poor here. You said I have credits? You haven't even seen my endo. Yeah. Just saying. And maybe, you know, yeah. Maybe a little bit more. And you're concerned about the credits. Right. What was that? This is a gift from Alsu. We found your bugs. Please take them back. I will take them out back and shoot them. Thank you very much for the additional drones there, Alsu. I'll find a spot for them at some point, I'm sure. Yup. Let's there we go. Right. Okay. You just sat down after 5 hours cycling? Dear God. Yeah, you can certainly cycle for longer than I can. Doesn't matter what you're cycling, you still probably could do it longer than I can. Okay, yeah. We've got our Nidus things. We've got just basic good old weapons, you know, the good stuff. Nothing we need to worry ourselves with too much. Let's set that to no shooting because it's just a better one. Yeah, it's buffed, but whatever. I don't want to see your collection of pedestals. You are correct. So, let's take Nidus over to... Oh, we do love a good old lure. Lure Circulus, why not? Jump us straight in there. Give us a whirl of it, see what happens. You saw some unexpected giraffes. Oh. Unexpected giraffes. Well. I don't know what to make of that. Scared. Damn, that is... What? Whoa, calm down there. God, that's one way to counter the Archoplasma. Just like, what? What was that? What? What is this? This is not supposed to happen. Let's just end them, shall we? That's something was happening there, and I do not want to be responsible for finding out.
The Orican Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life.
Oh, I've got some other things it can purge, I'll be honest, Lotus. Alright, do that. Drop a scoop right there, and... Oh, maggots went straight in. Bonk. Oh, good, the knockdowns. There we go. This protects me from knockdowns. That's good. I don't know if it protects me from other status. That's a thought. Does Link protect you from other statuses? I don't actually remember. No, we're getting quite a few mutation stacks. That's going quite nicely. Let's do another grab and stomp. Our stomps are pretty darn effective, if I do say so. And I do. Nice butcher with a maggot doing things. Still doing fine. I'm linked to a butcher and somehow that stayed alive. I don't fully understand, but I'll take it. Oh, yeah. All negative status effects, including knockdown, stagger, are also redirected. Oh, that is good. So that means that everything except nullifiers are completely deleted in terms of risk to persistence whilst I'm linked. No, they can try their absolute damnedest, but I am just immune to them. Where's my gun, Con? Give me that back. And I grabbed the Jade Eximus. So now I am ultra mega safe, because this thing is not dying for a hot while. Now the AoE ain't so great at taking out this, but that's why we have... So that's why we... Man, is it me or is that really hard to hit? I hit one headshot in there. That'll do. Yeah, AoE go burst still. Yeah, I think it does send the statuses over to the link target. You're very right. Once again, my gun has ended up over here. Please stop stealing from me. That is mine. There are many like it, but this is mine. I've got a decent number of kills, so where's my life support drops? What the hell? Hang on. I've got nearly 100 kills per minute here. Where's my life support? It's acting like I've done nearly anything. Nothing. What? Let's see, you go through, what's it, 45% per minute. So I would have consumed 135% life support. I'm on about 35, so I've picked up 70% from 300 kills? Nah, something's up here. Something's up here. That doesn't seem right. That was saying, yeah, that's the problem, happens a lot. That's the problem. I'm not sure if you're talking to me or something else now. But, like, I've done a lot of survival missions. This is far lower than I expect. I wonder if this is a Nidus thing. But I don't know how or why it would be a Nidus thing. It just... I'm gonna just kind of lock in for a moment, see if I can bring that life support up. I want to still be focusing on Nidus's kit in general, rather than just being a sturdy weapons platform, but... I'm getting the impression he's just not able to get the drops for some reason. Alright, we got nearly 100 kpm. It wasn't quite 100, but it was nearly 100 kpm there. We're at 11% life support now. Like, there is no recovering this now. I'm not on top of a tower. Oh, I just managed to get a little bit there. Am I in the right direction? No, I'm not. Yeah, that just snapped. It's fine.
All manner of Oricon technology may work here due to the Circulus's proximity. If you have a Maggot, you may use it.
Nope, I just got nullified. In a moment, that's going to take away my link health. Let's relink. It got immediately cancelled, but it's got that grace period, and that grace period is freaking huge. My god, did that grace period actually enable tanking there. And more abilities could do with a grace period, or just recast ability in their last moments. Oh, I'm at full Nidus. It's like another anti-camping rigging. You say that, but like, I've camped spots in survival all the time, and I know lots of you have as well. I'm not new to the idea of survival having features. I am new to the idea of getting 100 odd kpm and basically running out of life support in the first 5 minutes. That's unusual. Alright. KPM is still a little bit below standard baseline. Partly because honestly I feel like the enemies are just taking their sweet ass time to get anywhere. Are they distracted anywhere? Oh. Hey, this isn't a weak weapon. You can see the effectiveness of it. Even if some enemies take a little bit more to kill, they do die. There's one thing to note is Nidus doesn't have any kind of support for a weapons platform outright normally. I should be using more of this, because I have got the crit mod equipped. But that is his only kind of weapon support. Otherwise it is grouping and survival. God, I hate how many buffs are just on the buff bar. We have to just kind of like be aware of them these days. There's too many. I can't keep up with it. Live support has climbed back now. My KPM is slightly higher than it was. Not much higher, but slightly higher. Live support has rocketed back up. So I just got really unlucky at the start there. Like, really, really unlucky. We can tank for 126 seconds with persistence. Don't think we need enemy bond for defense. Oh, we need it because that's where I'm getting my health from. I could apply it to a companion if I had brought an appropriate companion. But as I haven't, I do need to link two enemies because otherwise, after a few seconds, that health will just vanish. His link is a final weapon damage multiplier. Oh, good point, good point. It is when it comes to an ally, yeah. So yeah, it feels like, I guess, then that to get that weapons power, we just have to have a ally link. So we need to be bringing a non-sentinel companion. There's just no two roads about it. Hello, Torment. Do you like my zone of obliteration?
Lua kept you safe in the dark age that followed the fall. It kept this hidden for you to find. These
I misjudged what I was looking at there.
from the neural sentry.
There you are.
Destroy them. They are drawing
I'll
from
work
your
on this one. Great to run out. Let me just... I lost my audio a little bit there, but it's fine. What? Where? Okay, ghosts can be Nidus slathered? Alright. Okay. Transport's a bit down again because I have slowed down my KPM just a little bit. Need to bring that back up. Okay, so this is... It's stable. It's stable. The crowd control is working, the stack generation is working, persistence is laughing at the idea of struggling here. Welcome back, Zob. Overall, it is working. And let's... I'm wondering, what do we want to combine this with? What roaming companion? I mean, probably a hound. Hounds, I hear, are kind of bonkers these days, so, you know. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Or in this case, when in Warframe, grab the most powerful kit you can. Acknowledge I'm not using the most powerful primary weapon right now, but the Envoy isn't a slouch either. You just use Panzer? Yeah, Panzer is an option. Could go for the Stealth Hound. True, true. Or Stealth Kubro, that is. if I want to go for an ability stompy approach. Not sure this would be really that good for KPM, ability stompy, simply because you need to group the enemies, then hit them, and the hits don't seem that amazing at this tier. So look at these right now. Stomp. Okay, with the maggots that actually did do quite a bit. But yeah, after the maggots, the heavy gunner does take a bit to die. I think the maggots help because they're blast. Well, actually, I don't know if they're blast procs. No, I'm not seeing blast procs. Oh, Worm's finally gone down. Sucks to be Worm. Can also use a Spectre for linking to, yes. You're not wrong. Let's do that here. Very quickly, let's see. Let's go for a Moa Spectre. When do we use those? Okay, we're linked to the wrong thing. Force hold to connect to ally. There we go. Right. Mania's going to do its best to ruin my day. I'm being knocked down because now I don't have the status immunity. I don't like that. I don't like losing my status immunity. Because I don't think this protects me from it, does it? Nope. This isn't status immunity, it's status removal. So it doesn't actually protect me from instant status like that. But that is a trade-off I'd have to feel out. But now we do have more damage. And more damage is, yes, welcome. More strength as well, which leads to more crits on top of the more damage. Let's see, what is the benefits we get at the moment? Oh, just 980% crit chance. Just 980%. Nothing too crazy on this setup.
Don't worry, I'll take very good care of Verona. I have just the spot in the kennel for her.
The queens have sought out
And zap 1. I think 2 is in here?
yours. We cannot let the worm
Yeah, I think I got him.
Tenno, the void has
Now, how is that Moa doing for hit points? Barely touched its open guard. Beautiful. Use Dante Ancient for Overguard. Could do, although we can also expect the Overguard to run out. Because we're trying to face tank with Persistence, so maybe not. If I wanted total status immunity, I could subsume off the 4. We don't technically need the 4, I think. Although we're not using Grace on this, no. But I could try a subsume off for a status immunity subsume. There's a bunch of those. But yeah, the 4's healing is pretty nice. And it also gives us those maggots, which are no doubt a part of our damage output here. With those explosions. It's hard to say on that. You can just go prime shot footed. There is that, yeah. There is that. That would be very viable here. Back into this. Skadoosh. Alley-oop. Alley-boop. Oh, what? Hang on, if I deactivate and reactivate inside this zone. Now what have I got? 1516% crit chance. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a spicy one. Let's just do a little bit of a grabby, stompy, and the laser judgment is Mambo number blah. Yeah, that works. Over 70,000 max health at the moment. Okay. I do feel like I'm going through my health faster than 500 per second at times. I don't know what causes that. Is it this? No? I don't know. Maybe I'm just losing track of what a second is. No, I am losing, like, whole chunks of health sometimes. And I don't know what from. Yeah, there I lost like 3k twice over. I don't understand that. Oh, I think my mower died. Or, no, no, it's just over here for some reason. Yo, connect, 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 connect. Okay, I had a ghost mower. Right. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Makes sense to you lot? Yeah. Knew it did. Okay. I'd like to connect to it. Where is it? Ah yes, here is its corpse, actively being obliterated. It's not a bug though, because we said there's no bugs here today, so it can't be a bug. That's just the void do stuff. The void just do stuff. Alright, KPM has stayed pretty consistent about 100. We're maintaining. All of that love is fine. We've shown that the tank is plenty capable. We've shown the gameplay loop. We've shown that AoE go brrr. Plenty fine in every circumstance here. I think we could be quite satisfied with at least the baseline effectiveness of this approach. And then also when we use the area to make it even stronger. I could spawn another Spectre or something like that, but CBA right now. So let's get to 20 minutes and then dip out. Might as well grab the 20-minute loot, you know. Where the f did that corpse come from? What? I was looking so intently at the X, was like, why are you panicking all of a sudden? They're just corpse. Okay. Okay. That happens. That happens. Woo! Yeah, ragdolls do go bare with this, don't they? Sorry, I just keep on firing rockets at its feet until it blows up. Oh, never mind. Gotta bump, 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 bump. Wasn't time to use that. Now it is. Got him. Alright, we can get out of here now. Straight into that thing. Yeah, so Nidus doing Nidus things. Using persistence, no adaptation. Correct, no adaptation on here. Oh dear. No adaptation on here. It is not great for traveling. But I suppose as soon as you see another enemy, you just link right up to them.
Very good.
Anon saying, Jade Spectre can give power of the 7 buff and link strength and damage applies to Spectres, so 350% strength for you. Yeah, that is indeed an option. Not sure I want to burn up Spectres, you know, Warframe Spectres every single time we're on a mission, but yeah, it's an option. But, not a lot of a change overall to how I feel about him. Just good old grouping. Crits is definitely nice. It's a power spike there. The combining to allies by just hold casting it, that is nice. That is real nice here. And then Ravenous is just kind of Ravenous. It's just there, yeah. Domain expansion from Ravenous. Alright. What mod would I put on the Envoy instead of my Riven? Good question. What have we got here? Crit damage, heat, minus impact. That heat stacked with that heat there into yet more blast. I think, yeah, previously I was running like a actual heat setup until blast just became bonkers. No, wait, no, I was running viral heat before, wasn't I? Yeah. So yeah, probably you could go for a viral heat approach for just anything that is a little too resistant to the first shot. You just clap them with the second shot. You could consider the magnetic mod. Whoa, when did I hit caps? Magnetic mod. Capacity is not really that big of a deal. It's getting the magnetic in there, because then those overguarded units, they're going to be a little bit more vulnerable to you. But honestly, kind of going move the heat mod here instead, or whatever way around you need to do things, and replace this with toxin to go with the cold. You've now got viral heat, and that usually does a lot of good. Not entirely sure why I have hammer shots on here, if I'm very honest with you. I guess, well, no, I don't aim much with the Envoy, so bladed rounds will be worse. And then, yeah, I do know why that's on there, yeah. You don't really need the fire rate, because it's a rocket launcher, not a machine gun. Fire rate coming from your companions enough. Yeah. Doobie-doobie-doo. I also have this over here. Crit damage, crit chance, and plus zoom. This is what you can't see. If I swap those around, you can see it better. But you'll notice I don't use that one because, well, the crit damage and heat on this is just worth more than the crit damage, crit chance, and zoom. This is not a good ribbon. Yeah, the ribbon disposition on this, it's not 1. It's worse than 1. 1 will be up here. This is 0.5? Did they put it at the bottom? They might. I mean, they surely it's bottom tier. 0.5, surely. 0.65, not absolute bottom. Wow, okay. Would a faction mod work? A faction mod will do exactly what a faction mod would normally do, yes. So if you want a faction mod on there, you can absolutely put a faction mod on there, and it will do what faction does. In this case, it would be a at all times 55% damage bonus. Granted, status effects would benefit from it twice, but this also isn't really that much of a status-focused weapon, which is why I say the viral approach may be more worthwhile, because anything that does survive those initial couple of rockets, then you're like, okay, well, we need something to amp the damage up here. And one viral proc does a lot more than one faction mod for direct damage. It just does. And if you're against shielded enemies that are tanking the ever-loving hell out of you, then that's where you consider ways to put magnetic into the build instead. This has a valence heat as well as modded heat, so if you really needed magnetic, you could go to valence magnetic, modded heat, modded viral. You then have a viral heat magnetic all-rounder setup. Not perfect for any one of them, but everything can get slapped by that eventually. And then you just outsource all the other buffs, because buff soup is buff soup. Yeah. It's not the most amazing weapon, but it is a very reliable weapon. You don't need to charge it up, you don't need to get the headshots, you don't need to worry about aiming in particular. It's just, you see that area? Remove it. And that works. Okay. This I wouldn't really consider a flex mod. This persistence combo is honestly just so strong that not using it seems kind of ridiculous, I'll be honest. Like, you can, but god damn does it combo insanely. I still don't know why I was taking 3,000 damage at times, or losing 3,000 health at times. That doesn't make sense, because I've got magnetic immunity, I wasn't in a nullifier, I think. My armor is more than double the minimum, so heat procs can't cause that. It's not sure on that. Maybe it's challenge room zaps? Challenge room zaps? Not familiar with what should be doing that, no. How do I have mag immunity? So when I was stood on this, it would cleanse magnetic procs every second, and also I just wasn't stood anywhere magnetic should have been happening. So yeah, that. And when I have this linked, I also have mag. The drift things on the wall? The drift things on the wall take energy, not health. They take energy. Fluctuating strength? Irrelevant. 1500 armor, persistence kicks in. Unless you're saying fluctuating strength on how much health I was getting from Parasitic Link, I'm fairly certain it's a snapshot on that. Fairly certain. Yes, I also have Negate Worm, which is just really nice to have. As I say, I guess Steel Fiber is needed for maintaining persistence. It's nice to have there, because if you let a proc get through when you've got just baseline armor, yeah, there's a couple shards in there. If you let a heat proc get through, this just turns off. So having that there is nice. It's a safety thing more than anything else. If you can ensure you're not going to be dealing with those heat procs, you're fine. But because this is cleansing once per second, I believe it is, whilst that can very quickly deny a magnetic proc, if you've got a constant heat source on you, like a Jade Beam, it'll cleanse one, another heat proc is there. And now your armor's off, and then you just... health go bye-bye. So having that does mean that a heat proc, no matter when it gets there, no matter how long it stays there, it just can't take away persistent from us. It is very much a safety button. And considering your next best safety button is to invest into total status immunity, or to replace Bellicose with the anti-heat proc arcane, you're having to give up something any which way to achieve that safety. Yeah. Some odd bits there, but honestly, it survived. That's plenty fine. And again, these are... this is the crucial one. These are optional if you're not using your primary. You obviously just wouldn't equip this. That's pointless if you're not using a primary. And then for this, you don't have to have it, but it does make the health that you get go a lot higher. This is what, with this current set of 9.4%, we get the Bellicose effect as well. I don't think that's showing fully. Yeah, so Bellicose would be 72% on that set. 214 plus 72, 286%, 2.86, mousing the wrong thing, times 4 for 11.44 max link effect. Let's bring Bellicose back now. Oh. So 11.44, if we go 200 stacks normal, that would be a health increase of 2,288%, is that correct? That's a junk. $23.88 times 925. Yeah, I'll be 22k health, which is a hell of a lot. Honestly, that is a hell of a lot already at max stacks, on top of the Undying available to you. So theoretically, ignoring those weird 4k damage hits just coming out of nowhere, theoretically that would keep you alive for a minimum 44 seconds there. But this then increases you from a 200 base, which it just doesn't say here anywhere, but whatever. A 200 base to a 500 base, which is just so much more tank again. It's a choice. But yeah, it works. And it does indeed increase the damage of this appropriately. Max damage increases to 2.5 times what it is without. Yeah. And I'd say with Hunter Recovery, you don't need nearly as much health. I mean, you've got any source of healing, you'll be fine, yeah. It's not about need when you're healing, because if you're healing, yeah, you technically only need 501 health if you've got full healing. When you're already talking tens of thousands of health, at that point it's not about the healing you can get, but what happens if things can chunk through that. Because we did see there were leaks in that. I still don't know why there were leaks in it, and I really, really do not like inconsistent capabilities. Nothing really grinds my gears quite like a thing just not working and it gives you zero information as to why. Why did I take 3,000 health loss? I don't know. There's no status procs. Slash can't tick that fast, so it's not that. There was no nullification going on. We got the heat just sorted out, so that can't be a problem. So the reason I lost that much health in chunks was because. Yeah, my favorite. Zippy saves linked to a Spectre, but I was also still stood on Ravenous, and I still had my worm giving some protections as well, and I'd still like to know what was it that was affecting me. You have a theory it gets disabled by magnetic damage. Alright. Test it out. Submit the bug report. First I've heard of that, I'll be honest with you. But if you can prove it, submit the bug report, show me the link, we'll happily take the proof you've got. As I'm saying, can I point out how Abundant Mutation was like the worst augment ever? Now argue if the upside is worth it, downside is not irrelevant. I suppose before is because the whole point is that Nidus relied on functionally his own health gate. If he ran out, he could just fix it back. No triple umbral setup, so I don't really want to go to an umbral unless it's particularly useful or particularly necessary. In this case, I don't think it's either. Remind us of what we got here. Umbral fiber could replace steel fiber. Of course. That said, does Nidus just come with the depolarity? Nidus Prime, yep, comes with a depolarity. So we've got a depolarity to work with already, and nothing else wants it. So we'd have to remove that to put an Umbral mod there. And we need to put an Umbral former in, or a bunch of other formers to afford it being there. Already, that's not great. Umbral Vitality can't go in there. And, and then Umbral Intensify, we're not using Intensify anywhere. So, what do we trade out for that? Blind Rage? Losing Strength? Even if we somehow could put Vitality, Fiber, and Intensify, all of them in here, some way, somehow, ignoring capacity issues and all the rest of it, we would gain more armor than we already have, but we don't need more. This is just here to deal with heat procs. It might deal with a corrosive proc as well, not run the numbers on that, but it's mostly the heat. The Vitality, this is just infinitely better, so I don't care about the health bonus. The tower resistance is irrelevant, and that leaves us the strength of 77%. We already have 236 baseline. It goes up to, was it, I think 286? Yeah, 286 on Bellicose. So it's not that much of an increase on top of it. It's nice, but it's not like great. We could drop our duration by a third, sure. That is still quite a cost for cozy play. Because yeah, the duration on this, we gain 33 seconds from that. We were able to go 1.5 minutes without recast on that. It holds enemies inside lava for up to 11 seconds. Not really that big of a deal because they should be dead by then, I'll be honest. It increased the duration on this by, what, 2.75 seconds, because it ticks, I think, every second. I have to double check it is every second. If it is every second, then we're getting an extra 3 ticks out of that, I think. And again, the duration on this increases by 22 seconds. But yeah, that is a disposable part of the kit. Not wrong there. Again, what could go in its place? Well, we could do that. That leaves us with 12. Which, again, isn't enough for a Umbral mod, so it would be another case of, well, time to throw out the Umbral format. And if you want to do that, you can do. Arcane Intensify. I don't know if Arcane Intensify triggers off the Parasitic Vitality, but it should definitely trigger off of Ravenous, yeah. And that will be stronger than what Umbral will give us in almost every circumstance. And we can fit it with that. No, we can't. More Farmer it is. More Farmer! All the Farmer! Spend, spend, spend! Yeah, well, that's fine. I know I can former things, Anno. Like, this isn't new information to me. I am aware as to what kind of formers are available, and if anything, I could turn around and say to you, oh, it's cute that you think you have to go for a equals polarity. I mean, I could just use an Omniformer. I've got a couple. Thanks, Mirrorlay, by the way. Yeah. Swap to Melee Aura? Yeah. Plenty of things one can do. Plenty. Yeah, I think it would be Archon Intensify. If you wanted to drop the duration, you go for the Archon Intensify, and that's going to be better than trying to shoehorn some kind of Umbral into it. Umbral would work better if you're not going for a persistence approach. But honestly, this is just so bloody good. I don't know why you wouldn't, to be honest. Let's see. Sentinel going overextended double Umbral. So that's going to be Intensify Fiber. But there's also using 2 Umbral Formers, yoicks. And a non-persistence, yeah. The Hunter Adrenaline is honestly because if you don't have energy, bad things happen. Running such a low efficiency and no energy increases, we want energy. That's all that really comes down to for me, is just, we've got all of the health, we might as well have all of the energy. Because as soon as you can't cast that, oh boy. Now. Plenty navigable. As things are running into former issues over and over... Oh, have I got exactly 500 at the moment? Oh. Anyway. As that's going to keep on coming up, let's just slap one of these into here, why not? Job's a good one. Actually, I could have done that, whatever. Job's a good one. And now we can do that into here. So yeah, and that's what that would look like. As I was saying, this setup would appreciate some blues for energy max. Honestly, I don't think it needs it that much. So let's see, what's the full casting spread here? We were at 190, so let's just count for that. This is 62 to cast. This is 38.75 to cast, and this is 38.75. That's a total of 139.5. This doesn't cost energy. This actually refunds energy if you're using it correctly. And you have the energy income from Hunter Adrenaline, so use once, and then bam, and refunds. And more if you do it right. So I think the energy max is actually in a good enough spot. I'll be quite honest with you. You might consider a shard for starting energy to help you cast a bunch of things at once, but that'd be about it. Double Umbral to cut down to 1 Tau Blue Shard. I mean, again, there's not really a wrong way about it. It's more that I also have to take into account I'm not just building for myself. I'm building for the literal thousands of people, tens of thousands of people who watch my videos. Tens of thousands. And I don't want to tell tens of thousands of people, oh yeah, you can make this work. Just start spending 2 Umbral Formers to save yourself 1 blue shard that people have in such abundance they keep on complaining on Reddit about them. Now, it wouldn't be my first preference of a recommendation. Up until DE decide that Umbral Formers aren't this sacred, holy item that needs to be so coveted. Yeah. Folks only have 2 blues, Tals. I keep on using them, Zob. That's the thing. People keep on going, oh, blues, they're so useless. Oh, there's no place that's good for them. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I have one of them here on a Wukong. It's not a Tau, but I have one there. There's one on Lavos. Let's see. There's another on a Lavos. There's one on an Equinox, one on a Vara. Like, they just end up in places. I place them on because, hey, they're basically free. Why not? 4 of them on this Rhino. Okay. There's another one in Titania. Another blue there. Is that a Christmas Urania? Okay. Another 2 on Dante. 3 there, 1 there. 2 more there. Nova got the full Tau Forge kit. There's another couple on Kome. You see how it very easily zips through. Alright, that's 1, 2, 3 for energy max there on Gara. Because, feck it, why not? You know? It's very easy to spend them. Did Folly get... Oh, Folly got quite a chunk of them there. Another 150 energy on the Citrine. Atlas just going, melee crit damage. Yep. Jade with a couple as well. Frost with a couple. And again, another one with full Tau Forged. Living his best life. Another full Tau Forged. That's another 150 energy. Honestly, 150 energy stuff is just really convenient. I think that's probably going to be about it. I mean, aside from Nidus down here, obviously. We've just done that. There's still a couple more going around somewhere. Yeah, there's a couple more. So yeah, a bunch of them, basically. Holy dooly. Whole bunch of them. Yeah, I still find it weird that Umbral Formers don't count as Omni. I really don't get that. If someone could explain to me, and by someone I mean literally someone from DE, could explain to me why Umbrals don't also count as Omnis, I would love to know. Honestly, I would love to know. The moment they made Omnis a thing, I'm like, okay, but what about Umbrals? And the fact that Umbral polarity isn't even an Omni is just a travesty. Someone said there was a thingy bit of Wobby over here as well.
The Lotus seduced the Tenno, led them on a complacent...
Yeah, we only have 5 Umbral mods, and they're in split sections as well. So you got 3 on your Warframe and 2 on your melee. Zom with back to 500. This joke wasn't worth it. I agree, Zom, but thank you very much for the former. Appreciated. Back to 500. Let's see if we're about to ruin that for you anyway. We are. Yep, there's an Umbral in the shop today. Yoink. We got 24 hours on it? Ah. Well, thinking. Which was definitely thought. Oops, there was a former in there. Oh no. Oh, it's all gone. Actually, no, it works out because then I immediately consume it. Aha. There you go. It's all good in the end. Okay. Have I talked about the EDA ETA proposed changes? I haven't because D didn't put it anywhere other than into a poxy little dev short. And I'll be honest, I do not like announcements in dev shorts. I don't want to keep up with every tweet, every interview they do, but it seems like D's communication has got to the shotgun point of, oh gods, they announced something in an interview with, I don't know, gameadvancement.org or something. Let's see. Can I find those deets? Quickly, because I'm not watching a 15-minute dev short to find one snippet of information. Dev short, Warframe, Reddit. Does Reddit have a breakdown of it? That would be convenient. Posted in last week. Let's see. Posted a day ago. This has got to be the right one. Okay. AI summaries can fuck off, cat keyboard. Thank you. Alright, got some people on, some crimes, not crimes, blah 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 blah. The Jade Stars to start with. Pablo says they've kind of overbuffed Jade Stars, leading to people using idle methods with them. They're adding line of sight. Saw that coming. Absolutely. In compensation, they're updating the ult for Sirius and Orion. When Sirius hits, it'll do fire damage, and when Orion hits, it'll do slash. They'll do guaranteed procs. Oh, that's nice. That's pretty nice. Okay. Yeah, I can see the work on that. Jade Stars still feel good with LOS. Sure, why not? Crime number 1 says Megan to Pablo, posting a chart with zero context, sending community into an absolute feral frenzy. Yeah, and this is why we don't vague post. Just putting it out there. Vague posting is it's for teenagers on Facebook or Instagram or wherever the hell they vague post these days. I don't know. Do they vague dance on TikTok? I don't care. Anyway, just don't do it. They're not touching children. Touches come with EDA and ETA. Warframes give you 3 points, letting you skip 2 modifiers. Oh, and I guess those 3 points would be over points then? If you're able to skip 2 modifiers? The categorizing modifiers. So it can only pull 1 from each category per week. Makes sense. They're adding buffs for the weekly weapons and frames you can choose from to make them more enticing to use. Okay. Pablo made another 6-7 joke. They're not going to do a no shields modifier. They'll do one that will cap your max shields. Okay. Jade Stars changes plus whatnot is coming in August. EDA stuff will be later than August. Okay. And let's see. Frontiers and Fables have 6 mini adventures. That's cool. And then that's it. That seems to need to take away. Cool. Alright. Not really a lot on the whole EDA, ETA there other than the whole 3 points thing. The 3 points is curious. We'll see how that plays out. If they've added 2 points to the frame choice, but then does that really change people just swapping out the frame for the one that does everything? Not sure. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not entirely sure as to what the best goal really is there in general. I'll be honest with you, chat. There's a very distinct risk of running into the Goomba fallacy when trying to debate nebulous points and opinions. For those of you who don't know, the Goomba fallacy, it's a whole idea that you don't want to regard multiple different opinions from different people as the community as a whole having each of those opinions. They don't. EDA change modifiers will be arranged into buckets. Yeah, I read that bit, yeah. 3 points, mods, turn groups. Yeah, okay, so let's skip it over the how the 3 points are actually applied, and that means that they didn't specify. Cool. We'll just look forward to the details when they give it to us proper. That's all we can do on that. We'll just see. The thing that I fall back to with regards to EDA and ETA is that if you have a little bit of friendship, and I know this is a very high level thing to have, but you have a little bit of friendship, you can cheese every single one of them, every single week, maximum rewards, minimum risk. And if any of you are slightly confused about this, it means you've not been paying attention to how the mode works, or how the mode has been balanced. Genuinely, every single week you can get every single reward full on. Let's change that setting. Every single reward, every single week. 100%. You just need to use the power of friendship. So if I head on over to Kai Velasco here, and I go into Temporal Archimedia, it's like, oh damn, I need to use a Nyx, Excalibur, or Caliban, Tonkor, Parasist, Carrack, Okikor, Mars, Quats, Twin Bazalk, Dual Ether, Sirata. Can I say, I have got some terrible weapons here. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is horrible. Occucore's okay if you can get it going. But like Occucore in Legacy Harvest or Assassination, that's not the place I'd want to put it, I'll be honest with you. In terms of loadouts, I am a big fan of that. And then we add in Transference Blocked. Abilities inflict damage on you. Negative sales effects are tripled. And fuck your ammo. Absolutely screw you on the ammo. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. That's a set of combos right there. Enemies are all Skuldra, they move fast, Harbingers are numerous and do lots of stuff. Bias modes are rushing to flare. Legacies grow even more powerful. Techro enemies are infused with Ephavon and explode. Hostile overgrowths. Only Thermid RPGs can damage the tank. That's a fun one, isn't it? And enemies will only take damage if you're within 15 meters of them. Oh my god. Ugh. Ugh. So if we're looking at this, we're going, wow, I mean, you can make some of this work. And then there is the power of friendship, chat. There is the power of friendship. You just go, hey, can you bring your Dante? Hey, can you bring your Styanax? Or your Frost? Hey, can you bring your Torrid Incarnate? Your Zoris Influence Ultra Slot? Can you bring all of that? Yes, we've been over this. You are masochistic. And then you do that, and your friend absolutely hard carries the mission. You can still get work done with some of this, but you're not going to be anywhere close to what your friend is doing, because they don't need to take the frame, or primary, or secondary, or melee, or any of these modifiers that the game is trying to apply to them. They can just run like this and they go, oh no, I only get to the first 2 silvers. But then, once you've done that, you just run it again. This time, you're the one with the fully geared out loadout, and they're the one with all of their modifiers, and now they get to have it cheesed for them. And that's it. That is how it works. And yeah, even if you play it public, there's frequently someone there who is either giving up on a parameter or just running it for the fun of running it to carry other people through. Something like that. Point is, this was always meant to be a team mission. Soloing it is a last resort. It was always supposed to be a team mission. And you'll notice it's a team mission that it's actually really hard to have someone screw up for you. Like, if you go into alchemy, people can keep on shooting the pipes too early, and it takes 20 years to get through. Okay, that's annoying. That's about it. It's not like a spy mission where people can actively fail it for you. So, whether you're running public in a full squad of 4, praying that someone has a way to buff you up with Raw or Nourish. Wow, we never see people using those abilities, do we? Or if you're running in a group of friends and going, right, it's your turn to be the designated driver, drive the mission. And then you run it all again a second time for the designated drivers. If you've got 4 people, you can have your hard tank, your hard carry, and your cheeses, and then you swap. Done. Every single time. It doesn't really matter what modifiers do you introduce at that point. Those modifiers only really apply to people who are choosing not to work with others. And at that point, yeah, expect it to be difficult. You're choosing the hardest missions in the game, the highest levels of damage they're daring to offer, with some of the most obnoxious modifiers ever known to man. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. So, yeah. You had an argument about EDA, someone said it's hostile to new players. No new players running that mission. And if a new player is running that mission, they're going to quickly learn that no new players are running that mission. Miralabe, for your case, friend, I believe the word you use is audience. The people who observe greatness when you give them negative 2 billion damage on their Amprex. I think that's the word in your language. Audience. No cat keyboard. You can run it again. You can always just run it again. If you get the first 2 rewards, because you didn't get all the points, and then you just add on the extra modifiers, now you run it and you do get the other rewards. You don't get stuck with the first set of rewards. It's just that once you've got those rewards, rerunning will not re-roll those earlier rewards. But you can still get to the later ones. You never knew? Well, now you know. Yeah. Nothing ever stops you from just stepping it up. So if you run it through the first time, like, say you went in solo with just the loadout you wanted to take, just trying it out, vibing it out, and you go, oh, actually, this is really easy. I guess I can bring the other stuff. And then you try again. Yeah, that's fine. It's not first run only counts. So, I'm not one who really enjoys EDA and ETA. I do feel like that I have a flawed interaction with it. That flawed interaction is that, and I'm sure many people like this, if I can't get the majority of the rewards comfortably, it feels annoying. I look at the loadouts and it's like, use these! I'm like, I don't want to. Don't make me equip the Serrata. I don't want to be Excalibur. Why do I have to use a Thermion RPG within 15 meters of the tank? Okay, that one's not the loadout issue, but whatever. They're not the most enjoyable for me. But because they are very doable in a group, at most, if you really find things are really difficult and you can't get a group together to cheese carry for you, and you've given up on public runs doing the carrying, you take off 1 or 2 bits of gear, you give up on the very highest reward. Oh no, the very highest. What does that lose you in EDA, for example? Let's pop there. Let's have a look at exactly what that could lose you. Just as a reminder of the options, and bear in mind you can still always do Netrocells. Netrocells are there, but they are worse for rewards. Oh, I have another inbox message. What's that about? Ah, it's Miralabe. What's Miralabe got us? It's a Quats. Thank you, Miralabe, for the Quats. Let's see if that's re-rolled what I've got in here now. Yep. Well done, Miralabe. You just re-rolled my Archimedia. Yep. That's gone.
We must conquer or we must die.
Anyway, that aside, yeah, on this, at the moment, if we were to take absolutely everything, or was the Quats down the other one? Oh wait, no, the Quats was the other one, wasn't it? My bad. But if you were to take absolutely everything, you get all the way up Vosper. No one cares about 50 Vosper. So the next one down, the Royal Pool, is a Melee Arcane or a Talforged Archon Shard. If I have a look at the drops table, hold on. Archime, here we are. Legendary rewards. So this is a 50% chance of being a Melee Duplicate or Melee Crescendo. Which, I mean, they're tradable, so if you care about that or care about farming for the Arcane still, then yeah. Let's see, so it is Melee Duplicate. A maxed out one is 145 plat at cheapest at the moment. So that's what, like 7 plat in Arcane. And Crescendo, I think, was the other one. Maxed out, it's a little bit cheaper, so it's about still between 6 and 7 plat per Arcane. Okay. And then there's otherwise the Talforged Shard 50% of the time, and wow, Talforged Shard, big deal. But if you miss out on that, you skip 2 things, which at the moment means you skip, say, frame and primary. You can take any frame, any primary. You still get Archon Shard, maybe Talforged, maybe Melee Arcane Adapter, and again, and again, and again, you still get 4 out of 5 of the real reward slots, because the Enchanted Lanthorns can do 1. And the Phosphor of 20 I also don't care about. Skipping 2 items, any 2 things, only loses you that last part of the reward pool, which is half the time about 7 plat, and the other half the time it's a Talforge Shard. That is a big thing to miss out on. But it's one of many bits. And then you can go do the same again over at ETA, which will be much the same results. And then you've still got an extra cell left over for another chance at Archon Shard each week. Just touching those 5 search pulses. I have even more inbox messages. What is going on? Oh, it's Mirrorlabe. That's what's going on. I don't need these weapons, Mirrorlabe. I don't need them. I'm not going to use them. I promise you, I am not going to use them. Thank you for the Arcosizer and Jack Kitag. They're going to sit there languishing. I sold them for a reason. I don't need them. Oh boy. Oh. Let's go to... Oh, yeah.
It's no Larunda relay. Bellamere and Minerva are ready when you are.
Oh, the Quatz is still there.
Stand by for
Okay.
temporal shenanigans.
So over at this one, again, if you skip 2 items, any 2, you give up on 9 pix chips, which I'll be quite honest with you, unless you're trying to race the rewards,
Not exactly
9 pix chips isn't
scientific, but
the
they're
biggest.
what I had.
You can trade for arcanes, and so that leaves you a display, Vosper, don't, and PD packs.
But they're so shiny. Got a set of crisis events lined up for you.
I'm never
Make
really
sure
cared
to
for the
get a
PD
gold
picks.
star.
They have some use. It pretty much comes down to the, what's it called? The RPG one. That's the big one I care about. Hot just 300 plat to max. Now, yeah, it is a chunk of plat to max. I will say 300 plat to max on Arcane is a lot lower than it used to be for some things. For our veterans in the chat here, how much did Arcane Energize used to go for? How much did people used to spend on Arcane Energize? And now tell me, how many builds can benefit from Arcane Energize? Not only need it, but can benefit from it, versus can benefit from Hotshot to the same extent. So yeah, Hotshot's expensive to max out. You can still get the majority effect skipping the last 6, saving you a chunk of cost. But the point is that 300 plat for a top tier unlock, not top tier value, but top tier unlock. Yeah. Oh, and you can get the hotshot from Lloyd as well, can't you? Yeah. I keep forgetting about that. I never seem to remember what he's got available. Arcane hotshot. Let's see. Wiki claims a 1.67% chance when you spend 200 Vosper with Lloyd, which is a very low chance, yes, but it is also further farmable. So it's not the biggest deal. And the point again then is that these pix chips here, 9 pix chips, you can skip those. It's chunk to skip, but you can skip them. And likewise, you can skip Arcane Escapist, Arcane Hotshot, Arcane Universal Fallout, Omniformer, Talforged Archon Shard. What is the chance of the Talforged there? Let me just have a look. Temporal, Legendary. Yeah, so on all of this lot, the Arcanes account for 10, 20, 30... What's that, like 41%? 41% of the drops. 11.2 on the Omniformer, and then the remaining amount is split between the Talforged Shards. The primary colours are 9.11% each. The secondary colours are 6.83% each. So again, bunch of value. Absolutely. I'm not going to say there's not a bunch of value, but you have to shape up what is that value to you. What is that value to you? Is it worth the amount of hassle? If you can't get together a group of people who can help carry you through to work against the modifiers, grab your favorite frame, grab your favorite weapon. And if that happens to be Hildren with the Torrid Incarnate, or hell, Hildren with a tome for just more stat buffs for Hildren, live your best life. Go for it. The other two arcanes so cheap, feels odd to get them. Escapist, Hotshot, Fallout, right? Yeah. So Escapist maxed is 30 to 36 at the moment. Universal Fallout max is 100. And then Hotshot, yeah, maxed is about 500. It's not cheap. I'm not going to claim that it's cheap. Not at all. But it's also just not that necessary. Did I see how many hotshots I had
Told
there,
you
by the
I'd
way?
make it. Okay,
Oh, wrong one.
cute things with ominous implications.
Yeah, not many. I haven't finished ranking it up myself, actually. Yeah. Oops. Got a whole bunch of the escapists for some
Alrighty
reason.
then.
Although, actually, it's because I've not ranked it up. So, yeah. So, yeah, overall, EDA, ETA, just, you can head there and make the most out of it in a group. Yo, Yadam! With the Mesa Heirloom Prex. Are you here with us at the moment, Yadam? Because I don't believe I know who you are on the stream here. All the same, thank you very much for the Mesa Heirloom Prex. To go alongside, the other day, you did send me a Mesa Heirloom skin. Oh, there you are! Hello, hello! Thank you very much for that. I did notice that the other day. I was like, okay, what? It was on the 7th. Yeah, that wasn't even a stream day. No, it's on the 17th. That was a stream day. But it wasn't a Warframe stream, was it? No, it wasn't. So yeah, that was just like, oh, what? So thank you very much for that there. And Miralabe with the Croaker. Ah, yes, the Croaker. I have a very faint memory of using this weapon. Would I be willing to race through Nidus build? Sure, why not? Send it over, Anon. Why not? Let's have a look at that. Miralabe, thank you very much for the gifted sub there. Much appreciated. Yeah, with EDA, ETA, it's meant to be a group thing, and so do group stuff. If you want to solo it, it's going to be a struggle. And it so happens that a bunch of people that want to solo things or stop relying on public choose the most effective tactics available to do what they can do, with as minimal adjustments to their loadout as needed. The answer to that is to just grab something like Hildren, which ignores a lot of the debuffs. What's my in-game name? The Kengineer. I'm not one of those who has a different name in 20 different places when I'm broadcasting as the Kengineer. I know some people will put like the player / TTV or ... the player to try and push themselves to the top of friends lists and whatnot. There are some people who do that. There are some names that kind of stand out for trying to put themselves at the top of name lists. Some more intentionally than others. Yeah. Yeah, the join command's currently turned off because we weren't taking joins today. You soloed ETA once for the Paragon Challenge? Yeah, fair enough. I've done both ETA and EDA solo a handful of times. At the same time, it's just like... yeah. Yeah. Is that an Aurea? Probably, yeah. Show Nidus. Oh, I need to rank it up. Oopsies. I've been sat here with an unranked Nidus for so long because I formed it and then didn't do anything. We got a recently acquired Vectis. Let's use you. That should be fine. I am going to want to equip a floaty boy strat because we're leveling Nidus. So let's go with you and you. Oh, sorry. This one's better. That was a pun? I mean, I'm not saying there wasn't a pun, but like, that was a pun? What did I do this time? Nope. Nearly messed that up. There we go. Savs was saying, people cry when they have a problem trying to solo group intended missions. I know. I know. At the same time, from DE's side, it's like, don't be surprised that people are using cheese. I've said this for literal years. Warframe is a game designed to be cheesed. If they didn't want people to cheese it, then they wouldn't have such insane scaling as they have in so many places. Levels would actually be levels. Damage wouldn't have modifiers into the billions. None of that lot would exist. Warframe does have a strong balance curve to it, but we reach a point where we just exit that curve and there's no reason for us to step back into it. Warframe is a game designed to be cheesed. You otherwise choose not to. I mean, try and tell me that Avara isn't cheesing when it comes to spy missions, or Wukong for that matter. Come on, that is prime cheese right there. I'm trying to not hit the Xmas whilst hitting the other unit. Wait, is that its... Oh, that's its gun. That is a big gun. Dude. Oh, I completely forgot I need to... I'm leveling not the weapon, I'm leveling the frame, but it's fine. 1, 2, 3. Easy mod. Let's see, where's our Xmas? Is that an Xmas right there? That is. Hello, Xmas! Get blapped. Dude had no idea what was happening. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Let's go. Screwed up that blink there. That's fine. 1, 2, 3. Oh, bollocks. I was slightly too quick there. How was that too quick? Oh, well. Get that back. And now you know why I count down, because it is possible to be too quick, and I literally was there. 1, 2, 3, fire. There we go. Now that's fine. Stealth kills? Absolutely. Alright then. 1, 2, 3, fire! How was that too fast? Am I just counting quicker than I usually do? Oops, I missed. Let's just obtain as much stealth modifier as I can. Oop, don't fall. I've screwed this up twice on one run. That's unlike me. Let's see, where's our Xmas? There they are. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. We're rank 20, a little bit more to go. There's a group over here. Morning. I know you're here. There you are. 1, 2, 3. Boop. Your friend likes using natural can shoot before jumping off Arcwing. Yeah, you can do that. Any of that works. I just do the aim glide because I like to use a hit scan and just pop. 1, 2, 3. Because I'm ranking up from 0, once I see 20 in-game, I am at 30 on mission completion. There's our Xmas. Don't think we got an Xmas spawn this time. That's unfortunate. Let's just shoot stuff that's here because I can. I think I had enough punch through to hit that one. Now let's start making our way back down. Has this respawned its Xmas? Or was I too close? I think I was too close. There's an Xmas. 1, 2, 3, Shoot. What am I using to highlight the enemies? It is an accessibility setting. It's nothing to do with the Warframe or Arcwing or weapon. It's just straight up game setting. So if you go into your settings and literally just search for highlight, you'll see how you can highlight both enemies and allies in separate colors. 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm not seeing Xmas. I saw something stood on the Xmas spawn there, so I think I just didn't get an Xmas spawn that one. Fine. How are we doing? Nearly there. I don't usually have to double back, so I'm losing track. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Boop. Nearly. Over at the ridge. Ooh, someone's seen me. Come on. Spawn in. Spawn in. Spawn in. Shit, I've spawned too many enemies, I think. It's not spawning! No! My stealth bonus is about to run out! 1, 2, 3. Stealth bonus just ran out. Where's that thing? Where is it? You shot at me, where are you? It despawned. Never mind. Oh well. Killing the entire pack makes me not spawn sometimes? Maybe. Did I full kill that one? I guess I did, yeah. Oh well. Alright, let's see. We've got a group of them. 1, 2, 3. Stealth kill, stealth kill, stealth kill. One more over there, and then highest bonus I can get for you. Bam. Rank 28. Nearly there. I could have just reset and done a second run. Can't be bothered. That's too sensible. We're not being sensible right now. 1, 2, 3. Boop. I didn't miss. Boop. So close. I could probably finish the level here, actually. There it is! Hit level 20 in game, which is level 30 on leaving. Because level 30 is 2.5 times the XP of level 20. And you get 150% bonus XP for completing a mission. 150% bonus plus 100% normal. 250%. Yeah, I know you can just bounce around specific areas constantly. I like having my little route. I just like having the little route. Yeah, as for highlighting, options, highlight, and it is literally right there. Set it whatever color you like from your color palettes. Set it whatever intensity you like. You can highlight allies, you can highlight yourself if you really need it, and you can again modify those colors as well. Setting it to either blue or white for allies is actually really great for conservation, because you can then spot the animals far more easily as they are allies, or at least considered allies for the highlighting system. Very, very useful to have. Right, during all that time, did I get sent a message with a build? I did not. Someone asked if they could have me rate their build, and they never sent me it. Don't know what to make of that, I'll be honest with you. Don't know what to make of that. Maybe the cat threw up on the carpet. Maybe they were just waiting to send it. Here's a build, sorry about delay. Warframe cleared my loadout, had to remake it from memory. Oof. Yeah, we hate it when Warframe does that. Right, let's have a look at this build then. What have you gone for here? We're seeing high strength, high range, a little bit of duration, none of the efficiency, and gotten rid of the fourth. Interesting play. Augmented and bellicose, so this is not going for a persistence tank. Gone for, outside of just stats, Archon Stretch? I guess you're trying to trigger it off your companion. Some people still do that. With Bright Bonnet, that just seems like a weird choice. But hey, whatever. It's just Stretch with meh on there. You've gone for Parasitic Vitality, but not going for Grace or Persistence. This is an interesting one. You'll have loads and loads of health, sure. It's still a little interesting. Teaming Virulence, because, yep, just primary crits go burr as well. And that's really the long and short of it there. Okay. I see what you're going for here, and it works out. I don't know if Bellicose is being taken into account at all on the stats over here, but yeah, you will just end up with even more strength. You've got growing power, you got your power drift, Bellicose, augmented, strength, 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 strength. And if you're surviving, then yeah, you don't need more. Your passive's more than enough for you. Fair enough then. If you can maintain your survival enough that you don't need anything else, go for it. Hands of proc strike? Yeah, so companion doing it, yeah. It's still weird that companions can trigger it, but you know what? Oh, welcome to Warframe, where abilities deal electric damage can also include not abilities. I don't pretend to understand it anymore. It just happens. Let's face it, I don't know if DE fully understand it. But yeah, overall, there's no real notes to be taken here. You've got yourself a high strength, high range setup. Duration is still a little plus on the continuity there, so that is nice. Your energy income... Energy income is at risk, I would say. Because straight... Oh wait, no, Bright Bonnet. Never mind. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, Bright Bonnet is absolutely going to obliterate any concerns of energy income. I take it back. Yeah, you're fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no notes, honestly. It does feel like this is pretty much just Nidus in a nutshell. Now, you can do a little bit of warbling on how you want to tank. You can do a little bit of warbling on, do you really want to subsume over the 4 or not? Subsuming over the 1 just isn't really an option, because it's so good at stacking your stacks. Subsuming the 2 is just suicidally dumb. Subsuming the 3, simply suicidally dumb. Just why would you? And... yeah, of course Mirrorlave remove lava, because Mirrorlave does weird things. And then otherwise you just go, oh, well, this strength-based frame also loves to have even more strength for strength, strength, strength. Yeah, it's strength all over the strength. Range is great because crowd control go burr, and just the range of application of things goes burr as well. A little bit of duration is just nice to have. And then strength, 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 strength. It's pretty much it. It is a frame that just kind of does what it does. No weird bells and whistles. Yeah. That works. Which does leave us on one particular question. We can take these off now, that's done its job. One particular question is, what about the other augments? Because we've had a look at Teaming Virulence and we know how that applies, it's pretty damn obvious. Same with this, same with this. So that leaves these two. Insatiable, with Ravenous, Nidus has a chance for additional mutation stacks while in the infestation. Base increase is with power strength, multiple stacks above, 100% of possible. Is it me or does that feel pointless? I'm going to be quite honest, this feels kind of pointless. Because, yeah, especially with the buffs to that, holy dooly, yeah. You can gain stacks so readily, you can control things, you can tank so readily that, yeah, this one's just not got a place. So unless there's some hidden extra mechanic in there, like, oh, also on gaining a stack, 20 platinum is deposited into your account or some bullshit. Nah. And then lastly we have Lava Burst. Reactivate lava to detonate and deal 600 toxin damage in an 8 meter radius. The damage and status effect stacks for every enemy grabbed by the lava. Okay, if we go to the front here where we had this kind of pre-existing setup, so we got Teaming Virulence is the most forgettable for the moment there. Let's see, so yeah, the damage and range do scale with strength and radius as one expects. We can get a bunch of strength scaling, so that can do a bunch. Damage says is stack for every enemy grabbed. Does it scale with anything else? Mecha plus 2 augment is funny. I mean, Mecha plus any source of status effects just works. Certainly if it's AoE status. You just kind of go, is the enemy marked somewhere nearby? Alright. Beep. Death. What kind? Instant. Even if it's not instant, the enemies go, haha, you only put 1 proc on me. No, wait, 2. No, wait, 3. No, wait, 4. No, wait, 5. And then they die. I don't know why it works like that, but it's always hilarious to watch it happen. They're just dead, 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 dead. Anyway, Lava Burst. Does the wiki know anything that the mod itself does not know? Explosion triggers on reactivating, yep. Upon destination, lava explodes within blah blah blah. Has fall off over radius, well that sucks. No LOS, that's cool. Has virtually no fall off against enemies caught by lava, of course. Each enemy hit will receive 1 toxin status. Multiplied by number of enemies initially caught by lava, yep. Initially caught, which is cool. Damage of each toxin stack is equal to 50% of explosion damage received by enemy, because that's just how toxin works, yep. Destination, each remaining enemy inside lava has a 50% chance to generate 1/5 of a mutation stack. Oh yeah, that's just lava doing lava things, yep. Explosion and toxin DOT not affected by mutation stacks is weird. Okay. So, given that scaling then, that doesn't go very high, does it? It doesn't go very high. Damage and CS stacks with number of enemies. Because, like, if you grab 10 enemies at once, which is a pretty hefty amount to grab at once consistently, 10 enemies at once with this current setup here, we still wouldn't hit 20k damage. Now, granted, there's also the DOT as well, and that's going to stack on a bit more there. If you got a 20k baseline, then you're looking at another, what's that? And 60k over 6 seconds from the toxin proc. And if you've got multiple toxin procs, then that's going to stack from there. You'll have 10 toxin procs at 60k, 600k. Now we're talking, okay. Now we're talking. Okay. And if you got the Archon shards to go with it, then yeah, of course, that can take it even further. Baseline, it's 30% extra damage there. Even leaving the armor shards, another 3 of those, or 3 of these, even if you wanted to be spicy, but 3 of these, 90% more DPS. So now we're with 10 enemies grabbed and that amount of strength, we're looking at the ballpark of like 1 million damage over 6 seconds. I mean, that's not to be ignored, not even slightly, no. And yeah, continuity could replace that if we wanted for the effect there. Let's have a look as to how many procs that applies. Because if it applies once, then it's less valuable. If it applies once per toxin, that's Omega. But I imagine it's going to be once. Alright. Clear that out. Let's get us some heavy gunners. Just less likely to immediately evaporate. $20 of them. 20 grabbed. Flat. 1 corrosive proc each. And this was not a lethal amount of damage, but it was a lot of damage. Like, this is no Archon Shard benefit, no raw benefits, none of that lot. Level 230 Seal Path Heavy Gunners just got removed. Okay. I imagine this is not going to work first time because Overguard. Yep. But if I do a little chompy to work it through, okay, that might take a while. I have not got much in the way of stacks, have I? Oh, can you only have one of these at once? Oh. The more you know. There we go. It's starting to break some overguard. I mean, that's just fun, honestly. Just whee! Send them all into the sky. And I suppose we can do a little more with this. If I just kind of go... That's a little more. Because my strength is buffed and that buffs the damage. Man, we're really making a mess. Now, of course, as more of them die, it becomes weaker, and we are using a very contrived circumstance here. But we can certainly see about utilization of this. Let's have a look into this some more. We got a bit of time. Let's do a little bit of work on that. So, I don't know what that old build is. Actually, it's not too far off from that build we saw from someone else just a second ago. A little old school, but yeah, whatever. Let's just pop it over this slot instead then. There we go. And then we can just switch this one back to what we had on here at the time. Okay, so over here, let's think about how we want to do this. So, because Archon Continuity is only putting on a single corrosive proc, it does a bunch of benefit for armor. I'm not sure if it's worth. Could I try your build of 2 rather than 1? No, I'm going to leave that to yourself on that, Arnold. Let's see. What do I want to meddle with on this, if at all? Yeah, because of the explosion... The explosion is smaller than the grab radius, so largely speaking, if I cast it and pop it straight away, it's going to hit everything but Xmas for full damage straight up. So if I cast it on an Xmas unit, I will then also just pile the damage onto the Xmas anyway. So that doesn't really matter. Twitch is saying if Archon Continuity activated how it should, quote unquote, many builds would probably be buffed beyond reason. How do you mean should? Abilities that inflict toxin status will also apply a corrosive status effect. It doesn't say for every toxin status, it just says abilities that inflict toxin. Well, yeah, it inflicted toxin. It inflicted 10 of them, or 20 of them, doesn't matter. It inflicted toxin. Condition is met. Have a corrosive. This one's actually doing what it says. How much is a DPS increase of 1 corrosive proc? More than you might expect. It is almost doubling your damage against 2700 armor. 2700 armor, as you might know, is 90% damage reduction for the enemies. And the way you can do that is you do square root of their armor multiplied by 3. That is, armor times 3, and then square root of the lot. That's 90% damage reduction. 1 corrosive proc reduces their armor to... Hold on. I was remembering corrosive projection is 18%. Corrosive proc, I think, might be more. Let's start. Yeah, it's 26%. So that's more than a corrosive projection. Never mind. So 2700 times 3 times 0.74. Yeah, that's 26 off. And square rooting that is 77.4% damage reduction. Toxin damage does not ignore armor, no. Wow, welcome from like 6 years ago. Holy shit, dude. You've been gone a while. Welcome back. And then Twitch Age just completely lying to you. Toxin ignores shields. Enemy armor is not DR, just armor over armor plus 300. No, that's us regulars. That got changed also a while back. Not as well back as toxin bypassing armor, but yeah, a while back. So, anyway, with the numbers that I'm saying, and please ignore other people being wrong about this, 77.4% damage reduction from armor with just one corrosive proc on the enemy, which means they're taking 22.6% damage, whereas previously they were taking 10. So that's a 2.26 multiplier to your damage. One corrosive proc against a max armor enemy, 2.26 multiplier to your damage. That's the equivalent of having 2 viral procs on them. That's kind of a big deal. That is kind of a big deal. So yeah, arc on continuity for that effect alone is a big deal here if we expect any kind of armor targets to be relevant to the effect. Because against armored enemies, this is like multiplying your strength by around about that 2.26, yeah. Oh my god, it's
Guess
Queen.
who?
Haha, I preempted the guess. Anyway, Queen, thank you very much for the prime there. Once again, up onto 43 months, 31 of them in a row. Cheers, that Queen. That is the very last sip of tea. That's not enough for 43 months. Let's have a sip of this as well. There we are. You remember at least one damage type ignoring armor, so /proc ignores armor. Yeah. Don't worry about it. If you do need a refresher on how damage types work, then you can check out my guide on exactly that over on YouTube. If you do !elements, it might come up, or better yet, just go !catalog and go through my entire catalog on my website. It saves you going through YouTube search, because let's face it, YouTube search will hand you all kinds of random crap. Even if you put in specifically, the Kengineer's guide to this specifically and only this, make no mistakes. It'll still make the mistakes. It'll still make the mistakes. So yeah, !catalog is the easiest way to just find what videos you didn't even know you needed were there. Soup saying you can drop growing for corrosive projection, put on Archon Intensify. Polarity issues aside, potentially yes. That said, you then get to also put the two together. Let's see, what is the benefit of the two together? The reduction in armor is multiplicative with proc and corrosive projection. So if we go times 0.74 times 0.82, then the damage would be down. Sorry, the defense would be down to 70.1% from 77.4. And still a chunk. So honestly, just removing that for corrosive projection once polarity swapped would work there. And in terms of polarity swapping, we could do... Let's see here. If I do that... Yeah, that could swap to there, that could swap to there. That works. Granted, I'd need to make such changes everywhere that'd be relevant. This would need to be a V over here, just so I don't break whatever this old one is. Yeah, it's doable. I'm not going to overstress on that right now, to be honest with you, but yeah, corrosive projection probably be stronger there than growing power, if and only if you're against armored enemies. If you're not, no. Have I checked out Warframe yet? Yes, I intend to be putting together a video on that. Maybe next week. It is third priority. We've got a video coming out tomorrow on augments. Then it's either Nidus or Warframe video I intend to do next. I'll see how I feel on which one to do first, I'll be honest with you. That is very much a how do I feel about what I could do with these. But yeah. I have indeed had a Warframe stream. That is up and live here on both Twitch and on YouTube on !replays. So you can always see the VOD for that if you want to get straight into it. Otherwise, wait for the video. Also, I love that I've accurately predicted some of the misspellings of the common misspellings of catalog. So glad that commands can have keywords. Alright. Yeah, honestly with this, against armored enemies, this seems to be as far as I can take that for that. We can go for a different tanking approach though, because we're focused more on this. And if we're focused on this, we can even go for technically an invis tank. But we can at the very least drop that, because we don't need all of that crazy stacking. We're trying to CC tank more here. And that gives us room to throw something else in. And that's something else, honestly. What if we did that? Might be a bit crazy. Because, I mean, a 30-meter grab. A 30-meter grab is a big damn deal. Queen, are you going to tell me that you guys in the States actually just changed your mind on how to spell catalog? Oh, I need to learn about that right now. Nope. American English since around started to crop up at the turn of the 20th century and became a bigger deal in America than the correct spelling around 1970. Well, considering the age of the people who taught me English, this makes sense. Fair enough then. You're spelling it wrong. Yeah. This was range might be worth swapping in Power Drift. You know what? You're not wrong on that, seeing as our strength is below our range now. So yeah, we can absolutely do that. Like so. There we go. Claw back a little bit of that. We do lose the title of 30-meter radius, but you know, whatever. Mutation stack chance at 95.6, but once Bellicose is kicking in, we'll be plenty fine on that anyway. Everything should work just fine on this overall. Not really all that concerned. Let's just give it a try. Like, no further messing, no further fiddling. Why are we messaging me in game? Thank you, but not looking for someone else's build right now. Usually people ask for permission on that, so I'm going to skip that. Let's go have a see how this feels, honestly. Let's go without an Invis Companion first. Let's go without. Let's go to this one. To be fair, Ellie, the extra UE on the end of catalog U, doesn't make a lot of sense from an English perspective. But damn it, it's tradition. And we all know that I've always cared about tradition. Vectis still? What's wrong with Vectis? I'm not even going to be using it. Just attached to you. Let's get some stacks. Oh, that should do plenty. Yeah, that's pretty lethal at the moment. That's good. Keep going. The fact that we can't improve that damage much is a little sad. Because I need to attach to something else instead. I can summon something to attach to. Excuse me. There we go. With that in mind, I can do this. I mean, if I chuck him over the edge, that counts. I do think those shards for speeding up the... Oh, sorry, empowering the Toxin DOT, that's probably going to be very good here. Likewise, honestly, I think this would be a time for Raw. I know, Raw, but I honestly think this is a time for Raw. But yeah, it's otherwise just kind of doing what it do. Is this the most effective strategy? Probably not. Do I care? Probably not. Stomp and... Oh, hold on. Ah! Why is... Wait, mower! Mower, get here! God damn it, I didn't realize the mower is just 20 million yards away. What the frick? You're so far away, I'm using the word yard. You just can't get the support these days. Anyway. Overall, it's not like a crazy killer, especially with various buffs I would like to rely on for said crazy killing. Not currently available to me because I've not brought them. So we'll invest in those in a moment. Next miss over there. I missed. There we go. Now Overguard's no longer an issue. You were calling out the Invectus like it was an issue. Damn, I hit the shoulder. And we can just pop a life support because fuck it, why not? Flex on how little damage these lot can do to me. Oh, they stood up there. That's a Tenno trick. Vexus Loki goated. Vexus Prime Incarnon is just a combination of, yeah, I intend to do power, thank you. Oh, the Moa's finally joined me. Nice to see you. There we go. We can actually have some strength bonuses now. Not sure how much of an effect it's having, but it's an effect. And yep, this is the gameplay loop. You just press 2, and then you press 2. 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 And you press 2. And you just kind of keep pressing 2. You have to wait for it to tree. You can't spam it, because otherwise it doesn't actually start. But once it starts, you then press 2 again, and it ends. And then you press 2. You do another one, then it goes, and then you go over here and you cast that, and then it's just 2. It's just 2. I'm gonna cast this to spend some stacks, so I can gain some stacks, so I have full health again. Would cast be meaningful for this? No, because you still got the travel time of the projectile. You gotta wait for it to get there. I was spamming it and it's just not working. See? We gotta wait for it to actually grab stuff, because then I can explode it. You just press 2. Where's the mower? There's the mower. Bonk. God, the shield bar vanishes. It's got so many hit points. Yeah, I can see what you said. Abundant mutation might be overkill for survivability. Honestly, I am inclined to agree. Trying it out. We just kind of... It's gone from being too bad to be useful to being too unnecessary to be useful. It's just kind of weird to think about. Mania, do you want to come in the range of my death explosions? That'd be great. Oh, sweet. You did. Unfortunately, it didn't really do much. Yeah, that's... Maybe I should just shoot. Oh, yeah, you're still Zephyring. Sorry. It looked like they got hit by the effect there and just sent to Narnia. Oops, I stood on him. I stood on him and he just... Yep. That'll do. Thoughts of Banshee getting reworked before Equinox? I mean, they need reworking at some point. I mean, we're able to disagree on the whole needing reworking, but let's be honest, Banshee's position in the game has always been a bit of an awkward one. And certainly Banshee having one of their best abilities on a subsume. One just kind of sucks. The 4 really mega sucks in the vast majority of cases. Banshee's needed help. Yes, you can get funny number out of Banshee, but funny number is not enough for something to be good. Even with the guide I put out on it. And I also put out a guide on Equinox. You know, I rolled the dice on both of them. I split my bets. DE picks the one they wanted to work on. Banshee collection of random abilities more than a frame. I thought you were talking about Equinox for a second there. Overall, this is showing promise, and with some extra buffs into it would be honestly plenty devastating, because this is base tier Steel Path, and it's already doing quite well. So an order of magnitude, not order of magnitude, just a double or so on the power there is going to be quite hefty. Triple Archon Shard is a big ask, but raw buffing this, that's plenty doable. Ooh, need to not die on the way through here. Because let's see, I've got, what? This is without the strength buff at the moment, so this would provide a 60% further power increase again. And we can see, just based on that, my strength is currently 241%. So 241 times the 60, 241 times 1.6025, I'd have 386. Times that by 0.3, that is a 115.8% raw. We apply 115% raw to this. That's going to increase the ability damage to more than double. And then it'll increase the status procs again to more than double what there would be on top of that. So that's over 4 times the damage output there. And if I do 2.158 squared... Where's my squared button gone? There it is. I had my thumb in the way. Yeah, 4.66 multiplier. That's going to do it. That's going to do it just in itself there. You don't actually need any much more. That's a lot. We had on the Archon Shards 3 basic ones for 90%. Let's times that by 1.9. And now the Toxin DPS is 8.84 times. We're nearly an order of magnitude potential increase by just adding Raw and 3 shards. It does mean losing the Ravenous, but we weren't really using it. I used it one time to just be able to gain stacks again for the Parasitic Vitality, rather than, you know, turning it off and on again, which you can also do. So yeah. Yeah. I do see some strong potential in that. I'll have more of a look at Nidus off of stream with that one. There is definitely some testing to do, some kind of just teasing out the details in a way that's not very entertaining to see, I'll be very honest with you. It's why a lot of testing is also off stream, whilst a lot of it is on stream. But for now, chat, I think it's about time we do a giveaway. It is about time we do a giveaway. Let's get that loaded up onto the stream here. Take it just a moment to come through. We're going to have a 3 minutes on that for a simple 75 plat giveaway. I just need to quickly step away from the stream for just a second here. So let's open up the draw. The command to enter will be ! Enter. It's as simple as that. So let's open up the draw for a chance to win 75 plat. ! Enter in the chat for a chance to win 75 plat. And I'll be back in just a moment there, chat. And people are still redeeming the soup command. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, you wanted to see soup. You can see your soup. You can see your soup. Alright, last few moments here to get in on the... oh, sure, why not just redeem other commands, Regulus? Yeah, last moment to get in on the 75 plat draw here. Exclamation mark enter for a chance to win that 75 plat. We'll be drawing that in about 30 seconds here. So I'm saying, turns out Nidus without bugs is just, he works. Not much of a story there. There's a bit going on. Is Heavy Sun we raised in QTCC? Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, best ever we've had on the channel. We've done 3 years of QTCC. First year we raised about 6,000 Canadian. Second year is about 5,000. And then last year we raised 7,250 Canadian dollars for the quest to conquer cancer. You guys were absolutely amazing on that. Truly amazing. Truly, truly amazing. Alright, and with that, that's enough time for everyone to enter in the giveaway. Let's do the draw. Let's have a look then. Who is going to be the winner of our Platinum giveaway today? We have got a whole bunch of you in and only one person can walk away from it. When is QTCC this year? I mean, QTCC with Digital Extremes is usually every October. That's usually when they do that stuff. Now let's see, what have we got? We have got, from a Moose IRL, a Titania, firing the full minute of the boss there.
Excellent
Moose!
work, Tenno. The extraction point is up ahead.
Moose, the Platinum is going to be yours. Oh. GG's on that there, Moose. Absolutely. I believe there's just been a round of giveaway plats handed out by DE. Either just done or it's due in, like, moments. So this one will be in the next batch. You can expect that in your inbox in about 2 weeks' time. And we've already got your details on record. So there's nothing more you need to do. Just simply look forward to receiving that. Yeah, still bringing this Clevo. Yeah, maybe Clevo's not going to be the one to get through here. Titania seemed to do just fine. Didn't even use Razor Wing for that one. That Titania just walked in and won. That would be. Anyway, that is where we're going to wrap it up today, chat. Just out of curiosity... Oh, I see we got a Xenos live at the moment. Is Xenos going to be staying live? Is Xenos going to be staying live? They've been live for a bit, but I don't see any reason to believe they'll be stopping right now. So let's do a raid on over to Xenos today. Absolutely. Well, let's get that rated up onto here. Have I spelled that correctly? I think I have. There we go. We're going to raid on over to Xenos. Absolutely. But that is all we got time for today. Thank you everyone for joining in. On Friday, we'll be having some not Warframe. So if you do want to see something of a little bit of variety, make sure you do tune in for that there. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.